You, what up? What up? Ronnie, what up? Sam, Eric, what's good? Just waiting for Reg to log in right now. What up? How's your weekend going? What up? Oh boy, we got a good one today, man. We got a good one. Have I listened to Warzone? Yeah, Warzone. That was a dope Black Moon album. Had some joints on there. Onslaught. That was one of my favorites. Um, what else? What else I liked on there? Whirlwind. That
So,
was dope. Two DJs on the mic. What up? What?
so
Chilling, man. I'm good, Ronnie. That's good. Yes. Have you listened to Warzone, Red? They asked. They asked. Have you listened to the second Black Moon album?
I love that album on some real shit. In my
Right.
opinion, Black Moon is the only
That was a
bootleg.
dope album.
Yeah, in my opinion, Black Moon was the only bootleg
Uh-huh.
click that never had a bad album. In my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, man. So,
The second wave I didn't care for, like OG second album. Guillermo, what up? Yo, I gotta talk to Guillermo about something. The idea that I had, I told Reg about it, but we're not gonna mention it yet. But it's an idea that we had on the front stoop, and we didn't do that episode yet. But oh boy, that's gonna be a good one for August.
very good one.
That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be something different, not an album review. Something totally different that I've never seen anywhere before. And we're gonna actually like do everything live too, like all that. When it's time after we might possibly do like one more review on Wednesday, and then August we're gonna do that special thing. But I want to get Guillermo on there for that, and maybe Big Freezy too. They're gonna like that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea, though. Very interesting, but I'm
I
like,
yo, but I know that's why I had the idea. Well, it wasn't just me; it was MH also. Salute to MH, but it's like an idea we had for the front stoop, and we didn't get a chance to do it. Like when everything when the versus battle started to happen, and we started like discussing like social comment, social issues, political stuff. So, but it's an idea that I've never seen done on here. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to do that, and we're gonna see like when the time comes for that thing to happen. I picked 1994. We're gonna see. That's all I'm saying. We're gonna see because people got they own classic album of 1994. We're gonna see how classic some of these albums are.
mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. But favorite album from Sade. I love um what's the my favorite Sade album? I love Love the Luck with Cherish the Day and Kiss of Life. Love that album.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love all the
Mm.
Sade albums. That's like my favorite one.
To me, damn, that's a tough one because it's either a toss up between Promise and or Stronger Than Pride.
Right.
Because remember when I was telling you I always love listening to her music like around Christmas, around the wintertime a lot, and I had like a memory with that and shit. It's
Right.
like with the Fuck Promise album, I listened a lot of times on Chris because it just had that winter feel to it. But then with Stronger
Right.
Than Pride, it has like a very like transitional period toward the springtime, like that Valentine's Day-ish kind of feeling, shit like that, you know.
Uh-huh.
But glad
Oh
you
yeah.
said all the album, even the fucking Sweetback album and shit, which I need to get my hands
Oh
on.
yeah, Sweetback. That's the one we discussed last September
Yep,
on your channel. That was a fire album. What
for
up,
real.
Wacker? What's good?
What's up, Walker? I have a question for
That's
you,
the home.
Trump.
What up,
Favorite Tony album?
baby? Who?
Tony.
Um, Sons of Soul. I love that one. I love Revival also. That one is great too.
Yeah,
But Sons of Soul, I want to say Sons of Soul is like their masterpiece album.
yeah,
You
man.
know,
Sons of Soul. That's my second favorite. Well, damn, because my favorite is House of Music, but
uh,
for my second, it's either Toss Up Tune Revival or Sons of Soul because Revival got some shit too.
yeah, that
That
that had
also,
like a lot of their early classics. And Never Rains in Southern California, Feels
oh my,
Good, some joints on there. You know, but Sons of Soul got If I Had No Loot, Anniversary. You know
what
what I
goes
mean?
around comes around.
Yes, that both of those albums I love. You can't go wrong with all of them. So both of
Yeah,
them are
man.
great.
I need to get my hands on Sons of Soul because I have all the albums except for that one.
Ronnie said, before we go on the countdown, what's your favorite Zapp and Roger song?
Ooh, damn.
That's a good one.
Computer Love. Fuck it.
That's everybody's favorite, man. That's
I mean,
everybody's favorite.
okay. I'll go different. Brand New Player from the first album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite album by Sean Price. I love Jesus Christ Superstar. I think that doesn't get enough of respect. You know, Monkey Bars is great. Um, Mike Tyson is great.
Yes.
But I think Jesus Christ Superstar was like one of the best for that year. When was that? Like 06, 07?
07.
That was a great album. Like I ran out to get that one. That one was the production by Ninth Wonder and Crisis. You know, you had Buckshot was on there, Sadat X, um, Steel from Smith and West from Smith and Wesson was on there. That was a great album. Definitely a classic in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I might have to go with.
What
I
up,
might
Eric?
have to go with Jesus Christ Superstar as well too because I just felt like.
I don't
With,
think he has a bad album though. I think like all of his albums were great, even his mixtapes. You know, the Donkey Kong Sean, the Master P mixtape, like all of his projects were solid. I don't think he has like one bad album or project. You know,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you because I feel like he definitely stepped his game up once he went solo from Delta
right?
Delta. Even though he was already very good as an MC with Helter Skelter with him and Rock and shit like that too. But
And I
as
tell people this all the time, like during that time in the 2000s and 2010s, like the same way Ghost was waving that iron flag for Wu, Sean Price was waving that flag for Boot Camp. Like when nobody else was dropping, OGC ain't dropped albums since the '90s. You know what I'm saying? Rock, his solo career has been a disappointment. You know, Black Moon, they were like separated at that time. So like Sean was like the one from the original, click from the original, Fab Five that was dropping heat, and he was keeping them relevant. So I definitely feel like um he was a great artist, man. He's a legend.
yeah, he definitely is a legend and shit. Yeah, definitely, man.
You know, did we discuss any Sean Price? I'm trying to remember.
We never did.
We got to do that. We got to do some Sean Price stuff because that has to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Man, like,
There's certain artists that I want to discuss on here. Like I was telling Reg, like on Wednesday, possibly we might do something for a group that we never discussed before, and that their album anniversary is coming up. So, but Sean Price definitely has to be discussed on here.
yeah, man, I definitely feel you about that. And as for Wednesday, I'm definitely free on Wednesday. Definitely.
Good. Definitely need to discuss that. You know what I'm saying? Because even with that group has been severely slept on and underrated, and I want to talk. That's a group I never like discussed in my life, so I definitely down for that. Imperious Rex, yeah, that was a great album too, and that was like something they put together after he passed away. We should do Marvin Gaye discography. Reg, you got something? I think we got something coming up with Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just spoil it right now. So I got a few Marvin Gaye related videos coming up. I know after the Richard Pryor beef episode, I know you guys voted for the reason why Marvin Gaye left Motown, and I've honestly already working on the episode and shit like that. So I'm gonna be working on that one. And then this upcoming September is gonna be like the Motown month and shit like that. Like all R&B reviews are gonna be like Motown related, and I have a few extra surprises too. And I'm gonna be reviewing the Marvin and Tammy Terrell album United, and the unreleased Marvin Gaye album You're the Man. And I know sometime next month I want to do a re-review on I Want You because YouTube blocked my original review.
Oh shit!
So. Right. But it's all good. It's all good because I was going to re-review the album anyway. So fuck it.
Now today we doing. I saw something last week when we were talking about the Rick Ross discography. I came across something by accident, and I saw something online, and I had this idea. Like, it's not when I say when we doing most disappointing albums, I don't mean like they're. Well, I can't say that. Most of them, except for like maybe 3, are like straight whack. The other albums we have on this list is like disappointments, being we expected more from these albums. Some of them I thought would have been better than how they ended up, turning out to be, but they're not like I said, like except for like maybe 3 on my list, they're not like total whack. It's just disappointing albums. And I saw a list on this site where they had like the 20 most disappointing albums all time in rap. Some of those albums, a lot of those albums I have, some of them I didn't think were bad. Like they had the From album on there. I didn't think the From album was bad. I mean, disappointment. I could see why people say that because of the whole. There was no cohesiveness with the sound with Trackmasters and Dr. Dre, and they replaced Cormega with Nature. We didn't know Nature at that time. He came out of nowhere, and he's already in the Firm clique. But there's some bangers on the Firm album. Phone Tap, that was a big hit. Firm Fiasco. The Foxy solo joint. Like there's some joints on there, but I didn't feel like it deserved to be on that list. They had what else was on that list? Wiz Khalifa's second album, Only Head Nigga in Charge. I thought that was a dope album. It got lukewarm reviews or whatever, but I thought it was like it sounded more hip hop than his first album. Rolling Papers, when you hear that, it has like an alternative sound to it, like an MTV type of TRL sound to it with certain songs. It's not like a straight rap album compared to the second one. What else was on there? Common, Electric Circus. That was another one. I didn't think that was a bad album. That was I think he was like going through a transition with his sound. Like that was like before he went to Kanye's label.
Yeah.
They had what else was on there? It was like some other ones. I'm like, not all of them, not all of the albums on their list was bad, but
yeah,
the list I have. Yeah.
And people love Andre 3000 to love Below, then they'll love the Electric Circus, in my opinion.
Right. The list I have though, there's some legitimate disappointing albums on here. You know, I'm gonna start with number 20. Number 20 for me is I love Wu-Tang Clan. I'm a big Wu-Tang head from the clan to the affiliated artists, which is why I wanted to, start doing that whole Wu-Tang Wednesday series. Saw them in concert, went to exhibits and all that. Love Wu-Tang Clan. But they have some shit in their discography. That last album they did, A Better Tomorrow, straight garbage, a disappointing album. I like and 8 Diagrams was not great either, but I like 8 Diagrams more than A Better Tomorrow. I think that was a disappointment. There's no song on there that I like. It don't even sound like a Wu-Tang album. The cover album I don't care for. I just think it was a straight disappointment. I know they had issues with RZA at that time. Don't like that album. So that's my number 20.
Okay.
What you got?
Well, my number 20. Originally, I was gonna put Jay-Z's Blueprint 2, but since I pretty much like the Curse part more, I decided to put the Blueprint 3 as my number 20.
Oh God, I don't like that one either.
Yeah, man.
Let me tell you, he picked the right singles. I think like even with a bad album, you can still have like some smash singles. Like Empire State of Mind was a huge hit for him, and it was so huge that Alicia Keys ended up doing her own version and putting it on her own album. And Run This Town, DOA, Death of Autotune. He picked on to the next one. Those were big hit singles from that album, but the album overall, I don't like it. I think it was one of his worst, and I don't think it holds up to the original Blueprint.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I remember I got this for Christmas in 2009, and I didn't listen to the album and shit like that. Didn't listen to it because, like I said before, the singles was what really got me. Like Death of Autotune, Run This Town, Empire State of Mind. On to the next one, and this was fresh coming off Gangsta. I love the album dearly, very underrated album. I hear the album, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, besides the singles, the only songs I can really bump, like Real As It Gets with Young Jeezy, which is like my favorite song off the album. I'm not gonna count A Star Is Born because that was a single after the album was released. I want to say I did feel so ambitious. I want to say, but yeah, this album was just. What we talking about? That was a song. Yeah,
I don't even remember those songs.
Man, it was like Jay's just had some throwaway songs, and he just called it the Blueprint 3 just because. I hate when artists do that fucking shit. Dead ass.
Hell, you remember when?
You said what?
Now I was gonna say, do you remember when Memphis Bleek got on the internet and he was like calling Timbaland out because he said like Timbaland gave Jay like a bunch of throwaway beats?
Yeah, I believe I remember that. Yeah,
and Timbaland was like he did because he was saving it up for Shock Value 2, and that was a bad album as well.
Oh God.
So yeah, that was bad. Like I said, like the hit singles, he picked the right singles, but the album was just terrible. Like Reminder, that was a bad song. Venus versus Mars, that was a bad song. He had an unreleased song called Ghetto Techno, and they used to play that on Sirius Radio. I think Who Kid used to play that on this video show. Yeah, Ghetto Techno. There's an unreleased song called Ghetto Techno that didn't make the album. Look it up on YouTube. It's terrible. Terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Point, I don't even want to look for it at the moment. I'll probably do a reaction video to that one day.
Terrible. He had some unreleased joints that didn't make the album that sounded bad. Like that whole album was bad. And I Black Album, is a classic compared to Blueprint 3.
Hell,
Terrible.
fucking Kingdom Come is a classic compared to Blueprint 3.
Kingdom Come was decent. It wasn't great. We did a review on that last year. That was a decent album. It's not the comeback album I wanted from Jay. I wanted something bigger, but that's better than Blueprint 3 to me.
Right.
Ghetto Techno, that's what it's called. It's unreleased. Who Kid played it on G Unit Radio like years ago on Sirius Radio. Not good.
Shit.
Number 19 for me, a legendary producer. Love this producer. Legend, top 3 all time. But after the Chronic, and he started Aftermath, he did have some shit now. Like, let's not just skip over that and go to the Chronic 2001. After the Chronic, y'all remember he came out with that Aftermath shit. That shit was trash. It was bad, and I have it. It was terrible. That Aftermath compilation was not good. What's the only song on here that I like? Bendia Done That. That's it.
Yeah, like shit and on top of the world with man.
There was a lot of shit on here that I didn't care for. A lot of R&B. None of these R&B artists are even around no more. Kim Summerson, where she at? Maurice Wilshire, where he at? Sharif, who's RC? Like, where are these people at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had some shit on here. Let's not skip over. We skipping over Chronic and we just going straight to Chronic 2001. Like, this album never happened. This is not no classic by any means. Like it wasn't good.
Okay. I can see a lot of people talking about the R&B joints from that album because
it was mostly R&B on here. Like, well, except for what? Okay, you got the RBX joint, the Mailman joint, Group Therapy. That was a single. I didn't care for that joint. I mean, but it's a lot of R&B on here. It wasn't great. I mean, Wacka, if you like it, that's dope. There's gonna be some albums on here that you probably gonna like more than I do, but I don't like this album. I have it. I don't think it was a good album. Like, we just skip over this album, we go to Chronic 2001. That's how bad it was. Because like people forget about this album.
Yeah, I just like the production because I feel like some of Dre's best beats were on that album too.
Really? You thought some of Dre's best beats were on here? On this album?
Yeah.
Compared to Chronic 2000, the Chronic?
No. I'm not saying
the Compton album.
Well, I'm not saying that. But the Compton album, he didn't really do a lot of beats on that one too. He had some outside producers on that one too, but some of his most experimental production.
You just said some of his best beats on this album. This album, Madame Holland. You sure you're talking about this album?
Shitting on Top of the World beat, the fucking East Coast, West Coast Kills beat, and shit like that. I mean, I fuck with those beats.
This album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
You're not missing nothing, MH. That is my opinion. I don't think it was a good album. You know, we know Dre for Chronic and Chronic 2001. That's it. When you skip over this album, skip over Compton. You know.
Are you on that Compton either?
It had some okay songs. There's some songs I like. My favorite one on there was Talking to My Diary. That was like the last track. And they were playing that like for Straight Outta Compton. That's a great song. I like the stuff that Kendrick did on there, but I don't think it was a great album. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to stop lying to these artists because we cherish them. Like, yes, Dre is a legend. I get it, but I'm not gonna say Compton is a classic. You know what I'm saying? The same way I love Nas. Nas got some shitty albums in his discography now. So, you know, I love Pac. There was a discussion. I had a discussion recently. I'm like, between Pac and Nas, Pac got a more solid discography than Nas. At least up until he died. After he died, all that other shit that came out, I don't count that. But from Apocalypse now to Machiavelli, solid discography. I don't think any of those albums are whack. Nas got some. What up, Ashley? He got some shit now. I love Nas. He's a legend, but let's not act like everything he came out with was golden. You know what I'm saying? If you have
Yeah.
a dope album, I'm gonna say your album is dope. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh well, this album is 5 mics, but I only like 2 songs off of it. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be
Yeah.
honest with these artists, man. You know,
That's what I don't like about the games today and
if
shit like that.
if I say I like um Fly God 2 more than Pray for Paris, I'm not saying Pray for Paris is whack. I'm saying I prefer Fly God 2. To me, it was a better album. But more people will say they love Pray for Paris. You know,
I see what
I
you're
didn't really
saying.
care for Lulu. I'm not saying Lulu was whack, but I like the album he did. I like the album that Conway did with Big Ghost more than Lulu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's your number 19?
Well, this number 19, I have a lot of respect for this hip hop group, and I know they're considered one of the pioneers of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at their discography, I find a lot more. I get a lot more disappointed than appreciative, if that
Right.
makes sense. And their final album was a huge disappointment, in my opinion. Run DMC's Crown Royal.
Oh God, that
Yeah,
was bad.
man.
That was
Oh my
mad collabs
fucking.
on that joint.
More, it was not a lot of DMC on that album.
Right.
Like when you have Jermaine Dupri and fucking Sugar Ray on a Run DMC album, they know you're in trouble. So the story with this album, it was supposed to have been released as far back as 98, 99, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But they were kind of going through a lot of internal conflict, especially Run and DMC. DMC wanted to do a solo album at that time, and he didn't really, his heart wasn't really in the group at that time too. And
Right.
this album kept getting pushed back because there was some label conflicts too and stuff like that, especially with the guest appearances with Kid Rock and Durst on Limp Bizkit fame wanted to
Right.
release some tracks as singles. So the album was finally released 2001, and it was a huge disappointment. Like there's my god, oh, them girls, oh my fucking god, like. The only song I really fuck with is Queen's Day with Nas and Prodigy. That's the only song I fuck with. Everything else is just Run DMC, really.
What year
And
that came out? That was like
2000,
02? When was that?
2001.
I remember I went to Record Explosion, old record store back in the day. I went to Record Explosion to buy, I think it was, I want to say it was the Clue Professional 2. I remember seeing that Run DMC album in the stores, but I never listened to it. And it had like a bunch of collabs on it.
Yeah. And yeah, man, when it comes to their shit post Tougher Than Leather, I'm those are like my least favorite albums. Like, yeah, Down with the King and Back from Hell has some joints I did fuck with, but as a whole, I wasn't really too fond of those albums as a whole. Because
Right.
even the King of Rock album from '85, as a whole, I wasn't too fond of either. Shit. So it was just like self-titled, Raising Hell, and Tough and Leather. Those are like my top 3 favorites and shit.
Uh-huh. Still I Rise. I like Still I Rise of it. That to me was a there's some songs on that were like unreleased, like Teardrops and Closed Caskets and Letter to the President. Those are fire to me. I think that's his best album after not I don't say that like, after Are You Still Down, Remember Me. Like that one and Still I Rise with the Outlaws. I like both of those albums after Pac passed away. Everything else I ain't care for. Like Loyal to the Game and Better Days. Better Days have some unreleased joints too, but not like they're not like great Pac albums at all. That's all you got to say about that? About the Run DMC album?
Yeah, pretty much.
Number 18 for me, another group. I love this group. Saw them in concert in 2000, 2001. Love them. Their discography is tight, except for this one album. I don't like Idlewild from Outkast. I don't like it. The movie, I saw the movie. I don't like the movie either. I think there's like two songs I remember off here. I remember Morris Brown. That was the first single. And I remember Hollywood Divorce with Weezy and Snoop Dogg. Other than that, there's no other song on here that I remember. It's not memorable. It's not a memorable soundtrack. It's like, unfortunately, it's like their last release as a group before, Andre went Hollywood and Big Boy went as a solo artist. But I don't care for it. I think this is like the one flaw in their discography. Every other album, Southern Playlistic, AT Aliens, Aquemini, Stankonia, Speaker by Club Below, all fire, all solid, all classic albums. This is the one flaw in their discography. And they still have a solid discography. But I don't care for this soundtrack. I think it's not good. I don't like the movie. The movie wasn't memorable either. I remember seeing the movie and I didn't care for it either. But I had to put that on there. That's my number 18.
All right. So I did like fucking. I'm gonna take it to the West Coast with my number 18. This MC was in this hip hop duo for about a couple of years, and he finally dropped his solo album. But the solo album was so trash, man. That is Corrupt with the Corruption album.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I heard that album.
Your debut album's double disc. It might be some trouble and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so pretty much he had a West Coast disc and an East Coast disc and shit like that. And the album was all over the place, in my opinion. Like, of course, everyone knows the song "We Can Freak It," which is like a very dope track right there. But this is other trash songs like "Put That on Something," "Can't Let That Slide." I mean, ask yourself a question where Dre was okay and shit like that. But and the East Coast disc is no better.
Right.
Like it just sounds like $2 beats and shit like that, man. Like, and these are like producers that made a lot of dope material, like Easy Mo B, Devontae Swing, and shit like that. But
right.
was not fucking this album.
No, and he had Dre on there too, and Dre gave him some shit.
He did, yeah.
That's what I was surprised about. I'm like, Dre of all people gave him like some crap on it, some crappy beats. That wasn't good. That's a bad double album. What we at? Number 17?
Yeah.
All right, number 17 for me. I have another Run DMC album that you might not like on this list. To me, it was Down with the King. Don't like this album. I love the single Down with the King. But other than that, Can I Get It, Yo? I like that song. Hit 'Em Hard, I like that. But the rest of the album is terrible. This is when Run DMC came back. They had a whole different image. They shaved their heads, started wearing crosses, all black Timbs and all that. They got all these big name producers, EPMD, Tribe Called Quest, P-Rock and CeeLo Smooth, all of these big name producers, Jermaine Dupri. And they came out with an album like Back the Fuck Up. It sounded like Onyx. A lot of these songs, it sounded like Onyx was doing the actual songs. Like Onyx was like ghostwriting for them. You know what I'm saying? I love Run DMC. They're legends. Again, you're not going to lie about what these artists bring out. If you have a bad album, I'm going to say you have a bad album. If you have a 5 mic album, I will say your album was 5 mics. in my opinion. This album is a bad album. And it got a lot of publicity. But when you get past the title track, what else is there? Because like the title track to me separates everything else on the album. Like they sound like vintage Run DMC over the Pete Rock beat. But when you get to all these other songs, they did a song, I forgot the name of the song actually. Is it What's Next? They did a song where they actually was rhyming over the Mad Cobra Flex beat.
Yep.
Like what? And that's a dancehall beat. Like what? What are you doing? How do you rhyme over that? With that 80s rap style over a Mad Cobra beat? Like it's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Just I don't see how people. I've seen people say this is a great album. Like where? What the fuck are y'all listening to that I'm missing? What are you listening to? Because I'm not. It can't be the same album. It can't be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're listening to. Maybe there's like a secret version of the album again that I missed because the copy I got is not great. You know what I'm saying? And I love Run DMC. They're legends, they're Hall of Famers. But this is a bad album. Let's not pretend like everything they dropped again was golden. You know what I'm saying? And they were having issues with albums even before this one. They look at the what's that one? The Back from Hell. A lot of people didn't like that album either.
That album's low-key growing on me.
It's low-key good. That means you didn't like it in the beginning, right?
Hell no.
Exactly. So there's something I want to see like I know there's an album or two where it grew on me. I didn't like it at first. But I don't think any album on this list was like that. I think like these albums, when I heard it the first time, I'm like, yo, what am I listening to? Like it's straight trash. It's disappointing. And for a comeback album like this, for Run DMC to finally work outside Jam Master Jay production and use the big name producers at that time. You want to know why Primo wasn't on this album? That's why, because he heard this shit. He probably said like, yo, this is whack. I can't put my beats, my signature boom bap on this album. You know what I'm saying? No. Yep. Besides, look, I had the single for Down with the King. That's the only great song on this album. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else tell you this album is great, they lying to you. It's not great. It's not a good album. I think the Source gave it like 3.5 mics.
I think so.
I forgot, man. I had that Source magazine with like all three of them on the cover. It was like a black background. I had that issue, but it's not a good album. But I have it. I just don't like it. That's my number 17.
All right. So my number 17 is an album from, again, one of like the greatest rappers of all time. But after a certain period, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, of course, I want to talk about LL Cool J with the Phenomenon album.
Somebody mentioned that too. I think it was Ronnie.
Yeah. No. Oh my fucking god! Like, something like a phenomenon. No good songs on this album.
I actually like that song too.
Well, besides 4321, but
yeah.
So this was executive produced by Puffy.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all should already know what y'all about to get into.
Yep.
He had a fucking song with Ricky Bell and Ralph Transmit called Candy. Nobody Can Freak You with LaShawn and Keith Sweat. Like, oh my god.
Hey.
That song, Don't Be Late, Don't Come Too Soon. Like, this whole album is just what the fuck, LL, man. And this is right after the Mr. Smith album too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Jesus, this album is trash. Like, I mean, this began the downhill when it came to LL.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Number 16 I got, and thankfully I don't have it, thank God. 50 Cent, Before I Self-Destruct. Don't like that album. But besides the song, yeah, okay. That was like the only song I really cared for. There's nothing memorable about that album. I think 50 was already on the downslide of his career when he came out with that. That album was delayed so many times. I had the bootleg for that like when it dropped like '09 or whatever, but not a memorable album. I still feel like his first two were classic. Curtis was decent. It had some bangers on there. That's not even a classic either, but I don't care for. And I remember looking at that movie because he dropped the movie for the album. They showed the movie on Showtime, and it's a regular hood film, and I didn't care for it. I think it's not a good album. So I'm not even gonna like waste time with like a long story about that. But that's my number 16.
Okay. Well, this might be a very controversial pick because I know that you love this album. But
Okay.
and I might have to put like a star with this album because there were some songs I did enjoy from this album. As a whole, I did not like it, and it's
Okay.
Big Daddy Kane's "Taste of Chocolate."
Okay.
Yeah,
I know you said that before. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, man, this is his third album. His first two albums, Long Live the Kane, It's a Big Daddy Thing, classics. This album, not so much. Like, just the album cover alone, like with his shirt off and shit like that. And you got the fucking girl in the background, like, he should be on his Barry White on this fucking album. Like, now for the good songs, you have songs like It's Hard Being the Kane, Cause I Can Do It Right, Down the Line, Dance with the Devil. I love those. And you have All of Me with Barry White. And I love Barry White. Barry White is a legend. But it's like, but you gotta be a very slick motherfucker to make me not enjoy a song with Barry White on it. You got Keep Him on the Floor with Barbara Weathers from Atlantic Star, the one who would play Sharon Bryant and stuff like that. Like, fucking, what else? Like, it's just not a good album. Like, the Big Daddy versus Dolomite song, I like the idea. Don't get me, I like the idea too, but that's why I like with this album, like, it has some good ideas, but at the same time, it wasn't that right Big Daddy Kane formula and shit like that, That's why I more prefer Prince of Darkness over this album.
I love Prince of Darkness. That's underrated. But he had his R&B shit on there too. The Love in You and Groove with It. I didn't like those, especially for first single. He put that a first single too.
But those weren't bad compared to the R&B shit on Taste of Chocolate, in my opinion.
I got a story with that album. When that album dropped, I was not allowed to get that album. You see, my mom was working at before they called it Verizon, it was like Bell Atlantic, and she had a friend that had bought the album, and they were like, because of the sexual content and the album cover, she forbid me to get that album. I'm glad I never got it. You know what I'm saying? I got the other Kane albums, but I don't got Taste of Chocolate. I still don't have it to this day. I'm not in no rush to get it either, so.
Your mom saved your life.
Oh man. So sometimes mama knows best. So where we at? Number 15. Speaking of P. Diddy, there's another guy that's responsible for ruining artists' albums. Talking about Wyclef with his second album, Eclectic, not a good album.
Oh,
after the success of the Carnival, he went multi-platinum with, We Trying to Stay Alive and Anything Can Happen, Gone Till November. He had big singles off of that album. Great production. That's a classic. His only solo classic, in my opinion. When you get to Eclectic now, to drop the first single with The Rock, the wrestler, Dwayne Johnson, It doesn't matter. And y'all remember that? That was the first single off of this album, The Rock. This is big. This is when The Rock, I think he became champion for the first time, heavyweight champion. The Rock as the first on the first single. Then you got, Whitney Houston. He has a Whitney Houston dub plate on here. What he called the track. He's like taking like Whitney's vocals and putting it over like a reggae beat or whatever. You got a Kenny Loggins dub plate track on here as well. Rest in peace to Kenny Rogers. My bad, not Kenny Loggins. Kenny Rogers. Yeah, Kenny Rogers. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And he got the Kenny Rogers vocals from The Gambler over like a beat that he made, like a dub plate beat or whatever. But this album was trash. Except for 911 with Mary J. Blige. That was like the only real big hit off of here. And yeah, like the album was terrible. Like It Doesn't Matter. No. Thug Angels, that was another single that was bad. He has like a song called Where Fuji's At. After the intro, he goes into this song called Where Fuji's At, and he's talking about Lauren, if you're listening, Praz, if you're listening, let's come back together. They were already broken up. Like they wasn't listening to what he had to say.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, come on, bro. Like the beats wasn't great on here. Like to me, he has other albums after this. Like the album The Preacher's Son. That was way better than this album. I have The Preacher's Son. That was a way better album. He had better songs on here than this album. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care for it. I think off of the hype of him selling a whole bunch of millions from the Carnival, Columbia Records let him do whatever. But it's not a good sophomore album. It probably is worse than his discography. And I've heard Masquerade. I don't remember it. I don't remember. I know he did another version of the Carnival. We had like 3 Carnival sequels, but Preacher's Son, I would say, is his best album after the Carnival. And people slept on that one also, and for good reason. But this is not a good Wyclef album. And Wyclef, just like Diddy, fucked up Cannabis career. He fucked up John Forte career. Both of them ain't on this album. At least Forte was on the Carnival. They're not on this album. You know what I'm saying? And This wasn't good. Wyclef has never been a super producer. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to stop calling him he was never a super producer. Yeah, you did shit with Shakira and other people, but I never looked at Wyclef like he was some big super producer. Like I'm not gonna put him in the same category with R. Kelly or the Trackmasters or Teddy Riley. Those are super producers. You feel me?
Yeah.
So no, let's get that, break that notion now. He's never a super producer. He went platinum off of one great album, just like Lauren did with her one great album. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Though I don't know if it went platinum. Maybe it did. Phil Cosby, I don't know. But even if it go platinum, it don't mean it's good. We've seen look, Nelly went diamond with Country Grammar. Is that a hip hop classic? You gonna tell me that Country Grammar is on the same level as Illmatic? And Illmatic never went. Illmatic when they first, huh?
You'll be surprised. Some people do call that album a classic, but not Illmatic classic.
But I know, but I'm saying, yeah, it went diamond. No Way Out went diamond.
Right.
Is that a hip hop classic? Are we putting that on the level of Ready to Die and Doggy Style and Chronic?
Well, No Way Out?
Yeah, that went diamond.
Hell no.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the going platinum don't mean nothing. I like Vanilla Ice went platinum. We put into the extreme on the same level as and Illmatic never went platinum. I think it did now. When it first dropped, it was barely gold.
Barely.
You know what I mean? So yeah, even if it went platinum, it's not a great album. No, the Sophomore Jinx hit Wyclef hard. You know what I'm saying? That is my opinion. So where we at? Number 50? That's my number 15.
All right. Well, I have albums on the list. So this nigga went to a new label and stuff like that. And again, this might be another controversial opinion, but I'm going with Snoop Dogg's "The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told."
Oh wow, you're crazy. I got a real Snoop album on this list. That shit, and it ain't that album that you just picked. Because the game to be sold to me is a solid four mic album. To me, like I said, after the Death Row era, to me he made his best shit on No Limit. Those three albums alone, the game to be sold, not told, Top Dog, and the Last Meal, all straight solid albums, and he barely used anything in that battle against DMX from any of those albums.
Shit, to me,
You know what I'm saying? To me, that's his best albums after the Death Row album. I mean, outside of No Limit, Blue Carpet Treatment, I love that album. Rhythm and Gangster was solid too. I guess No Love. After that, what he got? He got hit and miss albums. I got one of those hit and miss albums on this list.
yeah, that's why I said I have two Snoop albums. I have two Snoop albums.
He got a lot. He got a lot too, and he's a legend. But he got some shit on his discography.
Right. Like, I don't care for Wolf with Feed and Mystical. Fucking, excuse me. I don't really care for $10 to my name like that and shit like that. I don't know. I just felt like this how album was not. Like I said, I like No Limit, Top Dog, and the Last Meal, but this album I never gravitated towards it and shit. It just, I just don't know. It's just like, I just don't know. It's just not really one of my favorite albums.
Number 14. Speaking of, we're gonna stay on the Snoop Dogg train right now. Number 14. Speaking of Snoop Dogg, this album is one of his worst ever. I don't care what nobody says, one of his worst. If you haven't listened to it, don't. I bought this album the same day it dropped because it's Snoop Dogg, and I give him that respect because he is a legend. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, listening to Snoop, Deep Cover, Doggy Style, all that. But this album is trash. I'm talking about Ego Tripping. This is a bad album. It's one of his worst ever. I told you the story. I went to FYE the same day it dropped and bought it. And it wasn't because of Sexual Eruption. You know what I'm saying? Even if you didn't have that song on this album, I still would have went out and supported Snoop because it's Snoop Dogg. But this album is terrible. There's a song on here called Cool, produced by Teddy Riley. That is a straight ripoff of The Time, Jungle Love. Listen to that song. Straight ripoff. I'm surprised The Time didn't sue Teddy Riley for copyright infringement.
Exactly. Or in Prince.
Yeah, there's no hit singles other than Sexual Eruption on here. There's no hit joints on it. There's like maybe two songs out. I like Stacks in My Jeans and Those Girls. I think that was a single. That's it. Everything else on here is straight trash. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's a legend. Yes. No, Doggy Style, classic. But he's hit and miss. After Blue Carpet Treatment, he's hit and miss. Malice in Wonderland, Documentary, Kool-Aid. There's a lot of albums he got. That terrible reggae album he did, Reincarnated, and still managed to pull off a Grammy nomination. I don't know how the hell that happened. You know what I'm saying? He's hit and miss, yo. Like, let's be real about that. He didn't drop everything that was classic. You know why? Yo, and the crazy thing is, I picked DMX to win that battle. I don't think DMX won that battle convincingly, though. I think Snoop beat him. But Snoop used the cheat code. He used the Chronic and Doggy Style for most of those songs. Because that's his best shit. That he was in the lane when those joints came out. He was in his bag when those albums came out. He used his best shit against DMX. After that, what did he use after the Doggy Style and Chronic songs? He didn't use too much shit. I didn't hear him use nothing off of, Documentary. What big hits is on that album? Or Malice in Wonderland?
No.
Or Push? Like, and he could have used Peaches and Cream. He didn't even touch that album. None of those albums he touched. Blue Carpet Treatment. That was like his last solid album to me. He didn't touch nothing. He didn't play nothing off of that album. And I said, I'm like, yo, if Snoop is gonna beat DMX, he gotta use his early Death Row shit, not that bullshit that he dropped in the 2000s and 2010s. And to me, he won. I don't. People saying DMX won. I don't think he won convincingly though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think Snoop was beating him early in those rounds. You know, when you go against Doggy Style and the Chronic, and just his song selections were better to me. But that was his strongest shit. You know? But I still supported Snoop. I still went out and bought this shit. And disappointed like a motherfucker. It's not good. That's my number 14.
For accidental plagiarism.
Reg, what you got?
I'll put you on that. My next pick, believe it or not, I'm gonna have to go with Boot Camp Clicks for the People.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the debut. This was a debut album for them and shit like that as a group. Never liked this album. I felt like they released so many classics, like
Right.
fucking The Shining, Enter the Stage. What else? Fucking The Storm. Then when you see them together as a group, you're expecting some dope shit and stuff like that. I listen to the fucking album, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, first of all, I feel like the Beat Miners definitely have some horrible beats on this album. And considering all the great shit they've done, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Beat Miners, what are y'all doing? I mean, I really only like Night Riders.
You didn't like the Illinois joint?
That was okay. It was nothing really stood out to me like that. Like really,
Right.
nothing really stood out to me. Even when I listened to that for that recent review I did on this album. I never looked at this album as like a very good album, and it was so disappointing and shit like that because when it came to this shit as a group, the only really albums I really fucked with was the one joint that they dropped in like 06.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The fucking Last Stand. That one and
That was dope. That was a great album.
Yeah, man, for real. Everything else, fuck that.
King, what up? Ginger, what's good? That's it?
That's
Any
it.
more thoughts on that album?
Yeah, man.
I
I would not recommend it. If you have to be a boot camp diehard for that album.
I love Boot Camp. It's not a classic. I remember some songs off of that though. It's been a long time since I heard that though. Last Stand is great though. I think that's like their best album together.
I agree.
Number 13, I got a Redman album, but it's not the Redman album y'all think I got on there. I got the Reggie album on there. Reggie, he took your name and made a terrible album. Like what's up with that? You need some residuals off of that album because you name an album after yourself and then it turns out to be bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the end of Redman on Def Jam when we got that. That's like a throwaway album. So yeah, it wasn't good. Didn't like it. That's my number 13.
Yeah, man.
Chevy Jam, what's good?
My number 13 is Marley Marl's In Control Volume 2.
Oh God. Terrible.
Yeah. A lot of people probably were not expecting this one, but
I was. We did an album review on both of them. Terrible.
Yeah, the same day.
Yeah, same day. Two album reviews, same day. That was epic.
Yeah, man. Y'all know how much I love Marley Marl and shit, but like I'm honest. I'm honest about what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
And this is probably like it was a throwaway album because he was having issues with Coach Chillin at that time because Coach Chillin wasn't paying him what he rightfully earned and some shit like that, and so he pretty much made this album out of spite and whatnot. And just like Dr. J presents the Aftermath, it has a lot of R&B joints in this album, like and stuff like and it has like a lot. I mean, this hip hop joints like Symphony Part 2, fucking I Be Getting Busy. Those are dope. I love those. But you have shit like Fools in Love, Girl I Was Wrong. I'm just like, what the fuck? Shit, man. Like, yeah. And like I said before, like this is one of the bad albums I'm actually grateful I have and shit like that because I've seen this album go for like a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's been for years, but I managed to get for $5 and shit.
I think it's that's because of who Marley Marl is at this point, because it's not out of print because the album is so good, because it ain't.
Right.
It's just that it's Marley Marl, and he's a legend. So number 12 for me is Das EFX, Generation FX. Terrible album, the worst Das EFX album of their discography. The production was bad. The songs were bad. It's not memorable. I don't even remember one song off of there. I remember listening to it and not liking it. But not a good Das EFX album. Yeah. I don't like it, so I had to put it on this list.
Shit, crazy. My next pick, I'm gonna have to go with yeah. Y'all probably was expecting like Encore or something like that, but I decided to go with Revival because this album.
I mean, shit, take your pick. You got a couple. So.
This album was just so bad and shit, man. Like, I'm not a big fan of his shit post Eminem show, but this album just took it to another level, in my opinion. Like, the beats definitely was like more choppier and stuff like that. Like, he was doing that whole slam poetry, rhyming style and stuff like that, which it really did not work well for him. In my opinion, did not work well, but yeah, man. Definitely not a fan of this album. Definitely would not recommend it.
There was nothing on that album that I could listen to. Nothing on there. Nothing on Kamikaze. Just bad.
He had a song with Beyonce called "Walk on Water."
Right.
And I'm just like,
why? Why would Beyonce do that? Why? Did she need a check? I mean, like, I don't understand why she would even consider doing a bad song with Eminem.
I don't know.
That's terrible. But I still love Eminem. I still feel like he's top 10 all time. He just has some bad albums though. I got another Eminem album that's making his list. Number 11, Lil' Kim, Notorious K.I.M. Me and Reg discussed that on his channel. Subscribe to his channel and look for that review. I think Ashley was a part of that too, right? I think Ashley was on there.
Yes, she was.
Just a bad album. She took like 5 years between Hardcore and this album, went under the knife and messed up her whole body and her face, everything. And the album is like a prime example of that. That's like she had surgery on the album and fucked up herself and fucked up the album too. I just think it was terrible. The only song I like on there, I like was it Queen Bitch 2? I like that. Might be another song, but it's not a great song. I like the song she did with Mary J. When she talking about Biggie and all that. Yeah. Hold on. That was good. But all that other shit, the shit she did with Cisco, How Many Licks, and I don't care for all that other shit. That was terrible. The production was off. Not a good album. I feel like Kim has one classic album, and that's Hardcore. La Bella Mafia was better than Notorious Carry-On, but yeah, I wasn't feeling the second album. Not good.
Got you. I My next pick is gonna be Ja Rule's The Last Temptation.
Oh God, and I love that album. You didn't like The
Yeah.
Last Temptation? Wow.
Nah, I didn't really care for the last. This is when the R&B flavored Ja Rule, the Thugs Need Love era, like ah, Thug Lovin' alone. Oh my fucking god! I didn't care for Thug Lovin'.
I like that
Mission
song. I just feel like Bobby Brown at that point he had lost his vocals already, so it's not like he wasn't like the same Bobby from 93.
I am so glad he didn't sign to Murder Inc. I'm so glad.
Huh?
I'm so glad he did not sign to Murder Inc.
Yeah, that was a rumor too. There was a rumor that he was supposed to sign with Murder Inc. at that time. They were trying to get Nas to sign with them, because Nas was on that album, the Pledge remix
That remix, yeah.
with Nas and Ashanti. I thought that was fire, and they were trying to get Nas to sign with Murder Inc. at that time. That's like after Stillmatic. I don't think Godsend that came out yet.
No.
You know what I mean? But I thought that was a dope album, but it's not considered one of Ja Rule's best, like Benny Vetti or Rule 36. But I thought Last Temptation was a solid album though. But I know people don't like it.
Yeah, Last Temptation was just.
I liked it though, but Pharrell was on there. He did. I think he did Pop Niggas. Down Ass Bitch. No, the Down Ass Bitch wasn't on there, right? I'm trying to think.
Down ass
I know
bitch. No,
Charlie was on. Huh?
Down ass bitch was on Pain is Love.
Right. Charlie Baltimore was on the title track. She was on Last Temptation. He had some joints on it. I think that was a dope album, but I could see why people don't really care for it. My number 10 would be Blueprint 2. Don't like it. Not a great double album. It should have been what they should have done, like they did when they came out with the album again, and they cut it down to was it like 12 tracks? They called it Blueprint 2.0. That's what they should have done. It should have been a single disc from the beginning. And I was promoting for Rockefeller this time when this came out. Like the label sent me this album in the mail, and I was like, "Yo, this album, I like some songs, but not a great double album." I know Jay-Z tried to do something legendary like how his boy Big did, but he didn't do it. I think he picked the wrong singles too. I think like Poppin' Tags should have been a single. Somehow, some way, with Scarface should have been a single. You don't know the remix with MOP that should have been a single. The Watcher 2. He just had, I don't know, I just feel like he picked the wrong singles. Like It Still Me Miss was okay, but yeah, I mean I'm a big Neptune fan, and even I got tired of listening to that song all the time because they played it to death. But yeah, but it's what I'm saying, like you take a Frank Sinatra song like I Did It My Way, and then you try to do it over. That's a classic Frank Sinatra song, and I'm not even a Frank Sinatra fan, and I know that song. That's like his signature song. Like, how do you take that and fuck it up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't a fan of that. The song with Sean Paul. Don't like that. A ballad for the fallen soldier. Don't like that. Too many holes. There's a lot of like filler on here, like a lot of garbage. It just wasn't good. Like I said, like 12 songs, that would have been better. It would have been a solid album. But I think he failed to give us that classic double album, and so did Nas. Nas Street Disciple wasn't great either, but I like Street Disciple more than this shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it has a couple more songs on there that I like compared to this album. So, not a good album. Like I said, like Jay is a legend, but he got some albums Like This, like Magna Carta. That wasn't good. Blueprint 3, like you had mentioned before, wasn't great. Wasn't a great trilogy. I prefer the In My Lifetime trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. That's a stronger trilogy than the Blueprint one. You know, so that's my number 10.
All right. Speaking of Nas, my number 10 is his Nasir album.
Oh God.
So I was so hyped after the, in my opinion, modern day classic album, Life is Good.
Right.
And so I heard Kanye was producing the album. So I was like,
Mm.
okay, because I had just finished listening to Daytona,
Right.
and Daytona, man, that shit go hard. So I was like, okay,
Mhm.
man, Kanye about to give Nas some shit.
Right.
I fucking listened to the album, the fucking I'm Not for the Radio, and I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. I like this shit.
Right.
Then I heard fucking Cop Shot the Kid, and they used that slick rhythm like cop shot it, like
Mhm.
that beat alone. And when I saw Nas perform live, like last year, he
Right.
performed a song from this album.
Right.
Yeah, like the only song I liked was Not for the Radio and fucking Bonjour. Everything
That was
else was just trash. Like Simple Things, everything with the Dream and Kanye. Like, this album was such a huge disappointment, man. Like,
Yeah.
originally I was gonna put Street the Cypher on this one, but I was like, you know what? I'll put Nasir because this one.
Like I said, like Kanye is talented. He's a talented artist, talented producer. I just don't want to hear a whole project with Kanye producing for Nas. You know what I'm saying? Nas is a different type of caliber artist where he needs variety. You know what I'm saying? Like Pusha T, like Kanye has that chemistry with Pusha where he can do a Daytona for him. You know what I'm saying? He could do joints off of My Name Is My Name. Those are solid projects for Pusha. When Nas is different, he's like you need different production, and I just felt like the production was just it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple songs that would have been cool because he's produced for Nas before, but a whole project like nah, it wasn't a good Nas project in my opinion.
respect.
You know, number 9, yeah, shit, we had number 9 already.
Right.
Number 9, I got another Eminem album that's bad. Do not like this, but I have it. Encore, don't like it. Reg and I did a review on this. I think I gave this album a 2. I want to say on the album review. I think I gave it a 2. That's like one of the lowest. Like
Right.
since maybe the Black first album. That R&B group. It was I gave it a 2. It has like 20 songs and this is a special edition with the bonus tracks. But it's only about like 9 songs, maybe 8 that I like on this album. But it's not a good Eminem album. Eminem was on drugs at this time. You know, all kind of shit was going on with him. Like yeah, you could tell when you hear songs like Yellow Brick Road. You know what I'm saying? When you hear Ass Like That, like yeah, you can tell he was clearly on something. Not good. Not good. I want to say my favorite song on here is Mockingbird. Evil Deeds I liked. That was good. And what's the other joint he did? Spend Some Time. That was good. But overall, this album is terrible. One of the worst Eminem, top 3 worst Eminem albums of all time, with Kamikaze and Revival. Don't like it. So yeah, but he's still a legend.
Right, you're right. All right.
That's my.
This next pick, I'm gonna go with Lil Kim with The Naked Truth. Man, this
Yes,
album.
that was bad. That was bad.
How the fuck does the Source get this album 5 mics?
She had to pay them because there's no way in hell that's a 5 mic album.
No way in hell. It's not. It's not even a 3 mic album. Shit, man. Like, the thing about this album is just that around this time, this was 2 years after she dropped La Bella Mafia,
Yeah,
and this was her last studio album before she left Atlantic Records, like and shit like that. And
right.
yeah, man, this album is not that good. Like, she has songs like fucking "We Don't Give a Fuck" with Gumby and Twista, Chronic, KRONIK with Snoop and Jack Knight. The only song I like is "Light Us Up." That's the only song I like. But yeah, other than that, I don't care for this album.
Yeah, that was bad. That Black album was funny, Eric. Like, that shit was bad. That was truly a trash review that we did.
That's crazy.
That was terrible. I think I gave that Black album a 2. It might have been lower than that. I gotta look back at the video. I can't remember, but yeah, that album was bad. I know for a fact I didn't give Encore more than a 2. I know that it had to be either 2 or 2.5, but it wasn't getting no 3 and higher. This album right here, like if you ever do a review on this album, this is definitely getting a 2, maybe a 1. Method Man, the Cal 3, the People. This is a bad album. This is his worst album in his discography. I love Wu-Tang, love Method, but he got some shit in his discography. After the first 2 albums, after you get past the Cal 2, Judgment Day, this album is terrible. Now I like the Cal the Day After. I like that one. That was a rebound album for him. But this album, no. Again, what's the common person that's fucking up these albums? P. Diddy was the executive producer on this album. You see the trend going on. Anything that Wyclef or P. Diddy got hands on, anybody's album, they fuck it up. Whether it's Method Man or Cannabis or John Forte or whoever. This was a mistake from the beginning. Letting P. Diddy be the executive producer was a mistake. And then production was off. And he had big names on here. Ludacris is on here. Redman. Got Rockwaller was on here. Snoop was on here. Busta, Ghostface, Missy Elliott in her prime. Who else? It's just a bad album, yo. Like, there's 2 songs I like on here. I like that After Party with Ghostface. That's like a vintage type of Method Man track. And I like What's Happening with Busta. That was the first single. Everything else on here, garbage.
I agree.
The Cal 3, the prequel. Terrible. Not a good album. Don't like it, but I have it. I will never be doing it unless Reg hits me up and say he wants to do a review. I'm not doing. This is not going to be a part of Woo Wednesdays. I'm sorry. when we do those reviews, that's for like good albums from the Clan or the Clan affiliates, not bad ones. I'm not going to review this album. That would be a disgrace to Woo Wednesdays. But yeah, that's my number 8.
All right. My next pick. Whew. Shit. I'm gonna have to go with West Side Connection with their second album, Terrorist Threat.
I got that too.
On your list?
Yes.
Oh, okay, bad. Okay.
I didn't care for it though. It wasn't great. The first one is classic. I didn't care for the second one.
Yeah, man. This one I just felt like they were real. This might sound kind of crazy, but they were really trying to be too gangster, like on some natural gangster shit on this album. Because with Bow Down, it was like on some other shit. Like it was like, for example, this one they were really trying to be on some super gangster shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
just like the titles alone, like so many rappers in love.
Right.
Getting at the party, you gotta have heart and shit like that. And I think around this time too, Cube and Mac 10 were seen eye to eye and shit.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't care. Like if you just want the West Side Connection, I would just stick with Bow Down. That's like a fucking
Bow
a
Down
class.
that was huge over here too. Like I remember when they came over here and they did the David Letterman show and they performed that song. Like that was that was a big album over here. Like they played it on New York radio. That's a big album over here. We supported that album. Even if they think New York didn't have no love for them at that time. That was a big Bow Down was a huge record over here in New York.
Yeah, fucking autoclave in New York and my shit.
Yeah. That's a classic. We definitely need to discuss that one day.
I'm down. We can do. I'm down.
That's a classic. I definitely need to get that. I don't got that one yet. But yes, that's a classic album. Number seven for me is Wale, The Gifted. Don't like this album. I said this before. Wale made a mistake signing with MMG. I think he needs to go back to being an indie artist. He doesn't fit that image with MMG. To me, his best album on that label is Ambition. I think it's underrated, but I think that's his best work still. He's been on MMG since 2011. It's gonna be 10 years next year that he's been on that label, and he only got one great album to his credit on that label. You know what I'm saying? All that other EP shit and the mix, all that other shit he dropped, I didn't care for it. I don't even listen to Wale no more because I feel like he's not even coming out with good music. But this is one of his bad projects. I don't care for this album. It might be about like maybe 5 or 6 songs I liked. I did like the song he did with Meek Mill, Heaven's Afternoon. That was solid. The bad song, that was a big hit off of this album, and then he had the remix with Rihanna. Um, what else? Gullible with CeeLo, that was a good song. But other than a couple of songs, it's not a great album. I think Ambition was his best work on MMG. The production on that album was great. The songs he did on that album was great. And I don't know, and the nerve of Wale to bitch and complain to like Complex and to social media about how the fans dislike his music. We dislike your music because you're not dropping nothing good on MMG. You've been in 9 years, going on 10. You haven't dropped nothing close to classic since Ambition. So don't bitch and complain to the fans about well they don't give me my respect or all this other shit that he's bitching about. Come out with better music.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not. I don't understand these artists where they feel like their fans have to kiss their ass every time they come out with something, and just to make prop them up and make them look good. I'm not doing that for no artist. I don't care who it is. Jay-Z, Nas. I don't care if you're alive or dead. If Biggie had some shit in his discography, I would say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we're not doing that. I think Wale is an underrated MC. I think he was at one point in that conversation, early in that conversation when it came to J. Cole and Kendrick. He's not putting out a project even close to what they're putting out. Does he have a class? He doesn't have no classic that can compete with any of Kendrick's classics or J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive, 2014. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't get mad at the fans because they dissing your projects. You're not coming out with good music. This is a prime example. What's so gifted about this album? What's gifted about it? Because the album is not gifted. I don't see. You know what I mean? Like I think he fell off big time when it came to me, and I think it's because of him being on that label. If he goes back as an indie artist like he did when he made Attention Deficit, when he made the Back to the Future mixtape with Ninth Wonder, those joints, I think he would be a much better artist again. Stop chasing the radio and the mainstream. They don't work for every artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a prime example. It's like when you have an indie artist like Wale and that's on a major trying to do what Rick Ross is doing. You're not Rick Ross. Rick Ross is who he is for a reason. That's why he has classic albums, and you don't. You know what I'm saying? Meek Mill, even Meek Mill, to me, has dropped better stuff on MMG than Wale, and I think Wale's a better lyricist than Meek Mill. But Meek Mill albums are better than his. Dreams and Nightmares, that's way better than anything Wale dropped on MMG. You know what I'm saying? His second album, what was it? Second money? Was it money and losses, something like that? Wins and losses. That was a solid album. Meek Mill got better shit than Wale. You know, so it's like I don't get it. Like I feel like no, I'm not. You know, I love Wale. I'm just saying, in my opinion, MMG ain't for him. He needs to go back to being an indie artist. And I think it'll show. Like once you leave that major and you go back indie, you'll see he makes better music. As he was at one point. It's the problem started when he got signed to MMG, trying to live up to that rich nigga lifestyle. That's not him. This is a dude that was I started seeing Wale in like the double XL ads for like the LRG clothing. That's where he comes from. He's from the backpack. He's from the underground. You don't go from LRG to sporting Louis and all that other shit. And all of us, and you know what I'm saying, and then expect your diehard fans to follow you along. You know what I mean? It's a conflict of interest. You know? And I don't think he's pulled that off right. That whole image on MMG, that's not him. That would be like Lupe Fiasco going to Bad Boy and dressing up in shiny suits. That's not Lupe. You feel me?
I feel you.
So it's like, nah. I don't want to see Wale on there for too long. Like 10 years is a long time. I didn't even think he would last on MMG for that long. You know? But let me not get into my Wale rant. I'm not hating on him. He's a dope artist. I just don't like what he's dropping on him. That's all I'm saying. So that's my number 7.
All right. Another 7 is Foxy Brown's China Day album.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
This album was not good, in my opinion.
No.
Like,
Red, turn your volume up. You sound a little low.
is my volume up?
Yeah.
Oh shit, my webcam thing. My fault. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Alright. So I was saying, this is not a good album by any chance and shit. Like lyrically, Foxy had it. Don't get me wrong, but
hell no. You thought lyrically she was good on China Doll?
I mean, she's always been good lyrically.
I didn't think she was. I don't remember nothing lyrical about that album.
Shit.
Nothing about that except for the album booklet with her like half naked. That's the only thing that was good about that album.
Yeah, but overall, this is not good. Like, she has a song called "Fucking Baller Bitch"
Oh God,
with fucking Pretty Boy and Too Short.
that was bad.
BWA with Mia X and Gangsta Boo. Fucking Hot Spot. Oh my fucking God.
Don't like that.
China White. Like, this whole album is not a good album.
Terrible. And Jay-Z was on that album.
Yeah, Jay-Z. Yeah, I'm calling him out too. He was on the album, Bonnie and Clyde too.
That's like the only good song on there, Bonnie and Clyde too.
Right. But I did like BWA though, just for the use.
You like that one? That's the joint she did with Mia X and who else was on there?
Gangsta Boo.
Gangsta Boo, that's right. I didn't like it. Nope. In the gutter. A frisbee. That's a frisbee right now. Did not like it. And I got that shit from Columbia House. I need my money back, Columbia House. That album is trash, disappointing and trash, just bad. But she did rebound with Broken Silence. That was a great album.
Yeah, that was a good album.
The true testament of an artist is when they can make a bad album like China Doll and rebound from that album. You know, like LL rebounded from Phenomenon and he gave us the GOAT. GOAT is pretty solid. Unfortunately, it's his last good album. But he rebounded after Phenomenon. But that was terrible too. That's a true artist. Number 6 for me is Nostradamus. Yes, I have it the vinyl. I have the vinyl. Nostradamus is not whack. Again, disappointed by Nostradamus. There are some songs I like. I do like Nostradamus, the title track. I think that was dope. I like the way that he Trackmasters used that EPMD sample. Come and Get Me, the Primo track. What's the other joint? What's the other joint on here? Shoot 'Em Up, the Havoc track. Love that. What else? The Family joint with Mobb Deep. There was some couple tracks on here. It was all right, but it's still disappointing because of the whole story with the bootleg, the leaked tracks from the double album that he planned with I.M. Just think, like, if we gotten, Drunk by Myself and Blazer 50, Papa Was a Player, You Gotta Love It. If we gotten those joints on Nostradamus, this would have been a classic album.
I agree.
Even that whole double album, because I had the bootleg tape for that back then. If we had gotten those songs, Project Windows, all those joints with I Am, that would have been a classic double album for Nas. Unfortunately, it leaked. He had to go back in the studio and do shit over, and it just wasn't great like the joints we were hearing. But it's not a great album. It's just a disappointing album. It's not a whack album. Like I will play Nostradamus before I play Untitled. I don't care for Untitled. And people say that they love that album. I don't like it. But I'm willing, like I said, I'm willing to do to listen to that album again, just for Reg, if we do an album review at some point. I don't like Hip Hop Is Dead. I will play this over Hip Hop Is Dead right now. You know what I'm saying? Even Nasir is not fucking with this album. This is a classic compared to Nasir. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I'm not saying it's whack. I'm just saying it's a disappointing album compared to what we could have gotten. I still feel like I feel like Nas needs to come out with that double album. I think he needs to go back and get all of those tracks that he was planning to do with I.M. and give us that release the way it was intended. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be like an anniversary, a 25th anniversary for Nostradamus when it's time for this album for 25 years. Give us that intended double album with I.M. and give us the I.M. re-release the I.M. bonus tracks together. Double album, not I.M. Nostradamus. Give us that intended double album. Now, people will go crazy for that release. That shit will sell out. If you put that on Amazon, you put that on Get On Down right now, that shit will sell out. Because there's people that wasn't around for that at that time that they might have heard about that planned double album that would cop it. If they're big Nas fans, they will cop that. It's people that was there that had that bootleg tape like myself that always wondered like, what if we got in that double album? I would buy that shit. That shit would be fire. That would sell out. That's what we need. We need that planned double album. I Am Nostradamus for the 25th anniversary. Never mind coming out with Nostradamus t-shirts and hoodies, and nobody's gonna buy that shit. Unless like the diehard Nas fans that really love Nostradamus, they'll support that. I'm not gonna buy a Nostradamus hoodie for $50. And I don't even like this album like that. I bought the album because I went to the Illmatic pop-up event last year, and when I looked at what they were selling all like the Nas albums. They didn't have all Nas albums. They had like, Illmatic. I already got that. And they had like the early joints. I already got those. This is the one I didn't have. So I saw that there on vinyl for like, I think it was like $27, and I bought it. I'm like, yeah, let me get Nostradamus. It's not a whack album, just a disappointing album. There's still some songs I like on it. But for the 25th anniversary, give us that planned double album. Because I would buy that. With all the original tracks, all the tracks that you hear on Lost Tapes 1, all that. Papa Was a Player, Blazer 50, all that shit. I would buy that shit. That shit would sell out.
It would.
And I don't know if that idea has ever been approached by Nas, but he needs to think about that. Let's stop celebrating Illmatic. Let's focus on your other albums. That would be a dope idea for the fans. Like give your fans the intended double album that was supposed to drop in 98, 99. I would get it. So this is on my list, but it's not a whack album. I'm just disappointed by some of the song playing.
Yes, sir. So I just realized I didn't even have no Bad Boy albums. I didn't mention no Bad Boy albums yet.
I do. I do.
So
I got
have
some.
two.
Okay.
I have two. This one is going to be Mace's Welcome Back.
Oh God.
Oh, it was either this one or Double Up, but
I got you on that.
I might do a review on Double Up one day.
Oh Lord.
This one was just trash. Like, you fucking sampling the Welcome Back theme song. Oh, fuck. Then that Breathe, Stretch, Shake song. Let's be real. Let's be real. The only reason why he retired was because allegedly Puffy was trying to extort money from you.
To get out the contract. He signed a 6-album deal with Bad Boy. He only gave him 3 albums.
Exactly.
So he still owed Puffy 3 more albums. And you know the story with 50 Cent and Diddy. That's how that whole beef started, was because Diddy tried to buy Mace's contract to sign him to G-Unit, and Puffy wasn't allowing it. And that's why 50 still to this day he trolls Puffy on social media. Puffy wanted a buyout for $3 million. Mace not worth $3 million. He got one good album. That's money you give to, like, I can see if it was Biggie. If Biggie wanted out to go to G-Unit, or if Shine wanted out to go to G-Unit. Mace got one good album. He's not worth $3 million.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what's crazy? I just saw the NBA commercial for the season restarting. That's the song they're playing right now. They're playing Welcome Back.
By Mace?
Yeah. So he's getting some type of money off of that. I would assume.
Wow.
Yeah. He's getting money off of that right now.
Somebody gotta be really, really loving that fucking album. Somebody gotta really love that song.
Adam Silver is a fan of Mace.
Welcome Back.
Didn't like it. And I think, I want to say, wasn't Nelly on that album?
Hold on, let me check.
Because I know Cool to Love was Mace's manager too. That was Nelly's manager.
Nah, he was on the album.
Okay. There's a song he got on there. I don't know the name of it. I heard this album once. It sounded like a straight Nelly song from Country Grammar. Because him and Nelly had the same manager.
Shit, I would not be surprised.
Straight terrible. Yeah, I got Eric. I got this for 27. The Nostradamus album. It was at the pop-up event though. I don't know how much it would be anywhere else, but it was 27 at the pop-up event. So, number five. B.O.B. Strange Clouds, a terrible album. After the success of his first album, when you have his the single that made him nothing on you with Bruno Mars, and he had joints like Don't Let Me Fall and Magic, Airplanes with Haley Williams from Paramore, and then he had the remix with Eminem, and that song was originally for Lupe Fiasco, and something happened where B.O.B. got the song. Lupe did his own version, but somehow B.O.B. ended up with it on his own album. That was a great album. I like B.O.B.'s first album. But we get to Strange Clouds, and it was just straight alternative. Doesn't sound like a rap album. He was going for that commercial radio. There's nothing on here that I like. Nothing. There's nothing on here. And he has big names. Lil Wayne is on here. He got T.I.'s on here. Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Taylor Swift. Big name collabs. This album was straight shit. Very disappointed by this album. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's not memorable. I wouldn't suggest getting it. Like, if you're gonna listen to anything from B.O.B., listen to his first album. It's not a good album. Did not like it. And he hasn't made nothing relevant since Nothing on You. You know? So yeah, this have to be in the top 5 because this is terrible album.
Loki, I was never about to say that to Loki.
And he has talent though. Dude has talent. But after the success of Nothing on You, it's like he let the fame get to his head. And he told and after the poor performance of Strange Clouds, like he switched up his sound to like now it's like borderline trap. You know what I'm saying? Like he got rid of the guitar to start hitting the strip club.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he fell off big time. So I don't like it at all. And that was a major disappointment for me because I liked B.O.B. I thought he was actually dope. But he let the fame get to his head after that first album. So yeah. What we at? You at number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Puff Daddy with Forever.
Oh God.
Yeah, this album again. I saw a dope YouTube comment the other day. They said that Puffy is the Michael Bay of hip hop.
He's what?
The Michael Bay of hip hop.
Michael Bay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Michael Bay got some classic movies though.
Yeah, but you know how Michael Bay's movie, he does the extreme shit, like
right.
Like sometimes, like with this movie, like Pearl Harbor, for instance.
You didn't like Pearl Harbor?
Not. He tried to make his own Titanic, and you can't do that with Pearl Harbor, in my opinion.
I think Michael Bay fucked up the Transformers franchise. Like after the first one, all of the other sequels were the same. It was the same storyline. They kill Optimus, then somehow they got to bring him back to life. Then he comes back at the end to be the rescue the Autobots, and the robots don't look nothing like how they do in the only robots that look exactly how they do from the cartoons was Bumblebee and Optimus. Megatron, I couldn't tell Megatron from Starscream or Jazz or Wheeljack, any of the other Transformers. You know what I'm saying? Like he messed up that franchise. This is why they're doing it over now, because of what he did. But I think he's still like, Bad Boys. That was a great franchise. Pirates of the Caribbean. Like he got some classics. Comparing him to Puffy, I think that's too much of a compliment. I mean, Puffy, he's a great businessman. Like he knows how to promote shit. Whether it's at one time it was his label. He was promoting the shit out of his artists. Ciroc, all that. He knows how to promote people. He came from promoting parties while he was at Howard University. He's a great promoter. He's a terrible businessman when it comes to actually, keeping his artists happy. Because he, one of his mentors is Barry Gordy. Barry Gordy robbed a lot of those Motown artists.
Exactly.
What do you think Puffy was doing to Faith Evans? And 112 had to take Puffy to court just to get off of Def Jam, just to get off of Bad Boy so that they can go to Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Craig Mack left Bad Boy to be in the church. Mace, same thing with him. Biggie dead. The Lox had to have a rally. I never heard of an artist having a rally just to get off of a label. They had to have a rally to get off of Bad Boy to go to Rough Riders. You know what I'm saying? Shine went to jail for 10 years for possibly something he never even did. Took the rap for Puffy. Him and Puffy had two different lawyers in that case. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but bad shit going. It's always bad shit when it comes to Puffy. We know this. Biggie's dead. I still think to this day he knows more about what happened than he's saying.
They all do.
You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of him being a is he a Hall of Famer? That's what I want to ask you. Is Puff Daddy a Hall of Famer?
Hall of Famer. What do you mean?
Like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like is he
No.
Is he Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material? I mean, because if he never, I mean, there was a point where there was claims that he never produced anything. He was just conducting the hitman what to do. He never actually made the beat for anything, for no remixes that he took credit for, or for album cuts he took credit for. So what is he doing other than being a shiesty businessman and a conductor? Like, that's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material to me? I mean, not to me. You know what I'm saying? He has, I believe he has an ear for talent. I do believe that. But when you had a legendary label with Biggie, with Craig Mack, Mace, 112, Faith Evans, Cole Thomas, the Lox, so on and so on. How do you fuck that up? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the asterisk you got to put next to his name. Is like, is he Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material? What's the last time anybody's been excited for anything? Bad Boy's not relevant no more. Like what is the last artist they had that was relevant on there? French Montana? You know? Machine Gun Kelly? He's doing acting now. You know? I don't you know what I'm saying? The hype he still gets, I don't get it. I'm like, other than Ciroc, what is he doing as he's still relevant in the game? People want a Dr. Dre and Diddy battle. Dre would wipe the floor with him. I don't think Diddy is even worthy to battle Dr. Dre. All he's gonna use is that Bad Boy shit against what Dre did for everybody in the game. Like I don't think he's on that level with Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have one good album, No Way Out, and it wasn't because of him. It was because of the features he had on there. When you got Biggie and Busta Rhymes and the Lox, Foxy Brown, Kim, Twister, Genuine, Foxy Brown, like Jay-Z on there. Like, that was a legendary album because of the features, not because of Puffy. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my whole thing. That's where I stand with Puffy. It's like, at one point we thought he was like a god in hip hop because he was everywhere. We thought he was doing all these remixes with people, Mariah Carey and Mary J, Sting. this one, that one. Come to find out, he didn't even touch a knob on that production board. You know what I'm saying? He's a good promoter, yes. He's a good promoter. I'll give him that. If you a new artist and you want to be promoted by somebody in the game, I would go to the Puffy for that. Let him promote the shit out of your album. Other than that, nah. I would never sign the Bad Boy. He's grimy. He don't pay his artists. Everything is about him still. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting on a Puffy rant, but I'm just saying it's like he didn't make good music after No Way Out.
I mean,
We at number 3.
yeah, we had number 3.
You finished saying what you had to say about Puffy?
Yeah, all I was just gonna say is like this album should not be listened to by anybody, in my opinion,
Right.
and stuff like that. Not a huge fan of this one.
And I had that album because I had that album. I bought that album the same day that I bought the Beatnuts Musical Massacre.
Oh
Beatnuts
wow.
album was good. The Beatnuts album was good. That Puffy album is a different story. I threw that shit out. That's a Frisbee also. And he had big names on that album. Busy Bone, Redman, Jay-Z, Mace, Kelly Price, Buster, Biggie, Kim, CeeLo, Shine, Beanie Siegel. I remember everybody that was on that album. Terrible. Every song except for like I think the what happened was the song that Kelly Price is on. Forgot the name of it. It's like I think it's track 2, track 3. That song was from Mace's Double Up because I had the Double Up bootleg, and it's Mace's song. It was like a Mace version where he's rapping to that beat, and Puffy's in the back doing the ad libs or whatever. Whatever happened, something happened where he have his own version of that song, and at the end of the song you hear like Mace ad libbing, but he had no verses on that joint. I think it's called "Do for You" or something like that, and Kelly Price is singing on the chorus. Right?
Right.
That album is terrible. How do you make an album with big name features like that? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Keep going. My grandma's calling. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
How do you make an album with big name features like that? Nothing about that album. R. Kelly was on the album because he came out with "Satisfied." That was a single off of it. I remember that. They sampled the Looney's "I Got Five in It." Terrible. Threw that album in the garbage. I swear to you, I don't have that album. It's a Frisbee right now. You know what I'm saying? You think Dr. Dre should battle Lil Finesse? I mean, that would be cool. Lil Finesse did shit with him on the Chronic 2001 joint. You know,
I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I hear what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah. I threw that out. That album is a Frisbee now. It's at the City Dump. It's been there for the last 20 years. That's how bad it was. I do not have that album. Only Puffy album I have No Way Out, and I got Dirty Money, but the Dirty Money album I got from off City Hall. I was already in there. It wasn't my choice. Some of these albums I have was from a City Hall. It wasn't my choice. Especially a lot of these albums that's on this list today. Because I would never buy them. You know?
Right.
It's crazy, man. Where we at?
I think
We at
number 2.
number 4. We at number 4 for me. You at number 2?
Oh, okay. No, you're right. It's number 4. You're right.
Yes, number 4 for me. Another Mace related album, Harlem World. Terrible.
Oh God.
I actually bought this album back when it dropped on cassette. Right? I was with my homeboy and his sister. I went to Beach Street, and the album had just came out. And you know, me being a Mace fan from Harlem World, Love Harlem World. I think that's his only great album. I said, let me pick up the Harlem World group album. I picked it up, and that wasn't the one I was supposed to buy. I had Black Moon Warzone in my hand at that time. I think Warzone dropped at the same time that Harlem World dropped. I had that in my hand. I had Outkast, Aquemini. I didn't pick those up. Aquemini got later. I didn't pick up Warzone because I wanted to hear the Harlem World album. Big mistake. The album is terrible, and we had early Kanye West on this album on a joint called "You Made Me," and that's with Nas and Cole Thomas. Kanye West produced that track. This is before he blew up. Jermaine Dupri is on this album producing because there was a joint venture with So Def. Terrible. And they got Dame Grease on here. They got the early Neptunes production on here. Who else is on here? Dragon. This is just a bad album. Like, nobody in Harlem World can rap. Stacey Betha was terrible. Blinky Blink was terrible. Loon was decent, but Loon always reminded me of Mace. Like, he always had like that Mace flow. He always reminded me of Mace. And I met Loon back in 2003. Cool guy. He's cool. But he's like a Mace knockoff. Terrible album. Terrible. I don't know. I think I should burn this album. Like, I don't know why I have. I guess I'm being sentimental now that I get older. Before, Triborough at fucking 21 would have burned this album. Okay, this album would have been gone. It would have been burnt. I would have kept the case and just burned the fucking CD. I'm being sentimental now. I don't know why, but I will. As far as the Puffy shit, no, I don't want no Puffy album, no more. No more Puffy albums. I'm good. No, not the solo album. The group album. The group album with all of them, with Blinky Blink and Huddy Combs. Rest in peace to him because he's actually dead. Sugar. What's his name? Sugar J. He used to date Lala, and Carmelo and Sugar J had that infamous fight at Swiss Beach Party back in the day. The group album, Blinky Blink, Stacey Betha, this joint. Not the Mace album. Mace album, that one is classic. That's the only great Mace album. I'm talking about the group album. This one was terrible. Yes. I should burn it. Like, I passed up buying Warzone and Aquemini at that time for that album. And I'm thankful to get Aquemini now. I got that many years later, but I should have bought Aquemini over Harlem World because that shit is terrible. What's your number? Were you number 4, number 3?
I'm gonna go with Kanye West Yeezus.
Oh wow, and I like that album.
And not a good album.
It's you know why I like it? I like it because Kanye proved that he can still sell, and it don't have to be a rap album. Only rap song on there is Bound, really. Bound 2. But it's more like a EDM type of album.
Shit, well, whatever it was, it didn't really work out for me.
Reggie's like, whatever.
I mean, the only song I like is Black Skinhead. But yeah, I didn't care for On Site. I didn't care for fucking Blood on the Leaves.
You don't I like that song, Blood on the Leaves, On Site, Black Skinhead. Y'all didn't like that?
Yeah, I like Black Skinhead. That was a good one.
I thought that was Jesus' dude, man.
Bound 2, man. It's like that could have been so much better, but I don't know. I think
it's the video. The video with Kim on the motorcycle. That's what fucked up. That's the image people got in their head. So you know.
Yeah, man, but it's crazy.
Number 3 for me, I was just talking about the man P. Diddy, PD Forever. I don't have that album no more, thank God. I threw it away. Just a bad album. I don't understand how you can have that many features and it still come out to be a crappy album. And some of these artists were in a prime. Redman was still in his prime when that album came out. You know, Shine was becoming known. You know, Nas was in his prime still. How is that a shitty? How would that did that come out to be a shitty album? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
I remember Clue, DJ Clue, when he was coming out with mixtapes. He was playing joints like gangster shit. Remember that joint with Kim and Mark Curry?
Yeah.
He was playing that shit on mixtapes like it was like the next big single. How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck up a album like that with all these big names on it? I don't understand that. You know what I mean? And then to have the audacity to sample Public Enemy's song for PE 2000, then you put Hurricane G on the chorus. That was terrible. Chuck D should have said, "No, you're not gonna use my classic song and ruin it." You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man. That was bad. I almost forgot about that song. That was the first single off of that terrible album. The R. Kelly song was much better. That Satisfy You, but still.
That was trash to me.
I mean, yeah, it's not no classic song, but I mean, you had R. Kelly. R. Kelly was still in his prime then too. That's what? That's what was that 90, 99? That was like right before TP2. R. Kelly. He was still in his prime. That's like right after the R double album. R. Kelly. How do you mess that album up? And then you see Diddy. I remember the booklet. There was mad pictures in the booklet, and Diddy trying to come off like he's 2 Chainz at that time. Oh, like he was rocking like 5, 6 chains and shit. I'm like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really feeling himself with that album. You could tell. Like after the success of No Way Out, he said, "Yo, I'm a floss on them with the 6 chains and bracelets and all that shit, diamond pinky rings, all that." That's shiny suit drip right there. Terrible album. That's my number 3.
3. All right, my number 3, I'm gonna go with Snoop Dogg, Ego Trippin'.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
All over the place. I mean, Sexual Eruption, that song would forever be my shit.
that's the only hit off of that album, and he didn't even play that in the battle. He could have played that. He didn't even play that. He said, "I'm sticking with my Death Row bag."
Exactly. Death Row's Neptune, that's what he was always on in that battle, but
Right.
yeah, I didn't care for My Medicine.
Hell no.
Life of the Party was cool. Then they try to remake the Time song Cool. I mean,
Yeah. That's a rip off of the Time shit. I'm like, yo, they need to sue Teddy Riley.
Exactly.
So
Not the album.
do y'all know how disappointing I don't think y'all have that feeling of buying a new album and playing it for the first time and being disappointed. It's a disappointing, it's depressing feeling, yo. To know that you spent money on an album or somebody's album, an artist that you like, and you hear that new album for the first time, and it's a big letdown. You know, like how J. Cole got that let Nas down. They let me down many times. Some of these artists have let me down more than once. It's like we live in a nightmare. Like you've died in a nightmare, and you come back to life, and then you gotta relive that nightmare when you go to sleep again, and you're dying again in that nightmare. That's how it is. That's how it feels to when you hear some of these albums. It's like you're reliving that nightmare again. Like that's that movie. What's that? Happy Death Day, where the chick is like, she dies and comes back, and then she have to go through it again. It's like that's how it is when you play these albums. It's like dying and coming back to life again, and then you dying again when you played it. You know what I'm saying? When you hear an album like Double Up, that's my number 2, Mace. When you hear an album like Double Up, hearing that album for the first time, huge successful from Harlem World. All the many collabs he's done with Mariah, this one, that one, and then you hear that second album, and how bad, how much of a fall he took from Harlem World to Double Up. It's like dying, and I gotta hear that, and then reliving the nightmare again. It's like I died, and then I gotta relive the nightmare again, hearing that album. I threw that album away. Don't have that album. I threw it away. It's not in my collection. Only album I have from Mace is Harlem World. Yeah, it's that bad. And the booklet is the booklet is bad as well. This nigga had on the Rangers. He had on like a fake bootleg Rangers jersey, the hockey jersey, or it's either that or they blocked out the Rangers actual stitching on the jersey because it's the same Rangers colors, design, the home jersey, whatever, and there's no NHL logo on it, nothing. It's like a bootleg Rangers jersey that he's rocking with all these jewels on. Again, he had like 3-4 bracelets on, rings, pinky rings, 3-4 chains like Puffy is. Like they might have had like a drip challenge like for who's the shiniest at that time.
No, who's a shiny?
Yeah, who had the shiniest drip on the album cover, on the album booklet. Terrible. And he had big stars on. Maya was on there, Shine, My Son, Funkmaster Flex. He had some people on that album. Loon was on there. He had some people on that album. Blackstreet, because the first single was with him and Blackstreet. Where they sampled a Shalimar joint. You don't even know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I put that album in the back of my mind.
I forgot the name of the song. Get Ready or something like that. He sampled the Shalimar joint. Get Ready tonight. That joint.
Oh, man.
Right. Right. That was the first single with Blackstreet. Terrible.
Oh.
Terrible album. You know what I'm saying? It was no kid singles on there. And I had the bootleg for that album. And the bootleg had joints that wasn't on the retail version. And some of the song titles were different. There's a song that he did called I think Beanie Siegel used the same sample. It's called Oh Daddy. And on the bootleg, it was called Daddy's. I think on the bootleg it was called Daddy's Home. You know what I'm saying? There's other joints on there that didn't make that. He remember he had beef with was it Junior Mafia? Or was it Harlem? I think he had beef with his very same clique. He did a diss song that didn't make the album. I want to say it was either against Junior Mafia or Harlem World. I remember he had beef with one of those crews, and that didn't make the album cut. The resale joint. But it was just a bad album. And after that, he retired, became a pastor, came back and did that terrible other album that Reg had on his list, the Welcome Back joint. He was just done from there. You know what I'm saying? So he is to me a one album wonder when it comes to Harlem World. Yes, Harlem World to me is a classic. I love it. His only good album, just like Puffy and No Way Out. His only good album. After that, trash. So that's my number 2.
All right. Shit. Number 2. My number two. I'ma probably go with the Firm album.
Oh wow. So you do believe the Firm album is trash?
Yeah.
Wasn't you the one that said that you China all over the Firm? Was it you that said that?
Yes, I did.
I can't believe that, yo.
Yeah, I never liked.
Please explain that to me. Please explain how do you have China Doll over the Firm album? I would like to know, like, how do you have in what way is China Doll better than the Firm album?
For one, I just believe, like, to be honest, I just feel like it's a very consistent album, and that's not saying too much compared to the two. I never really felt like the beef with the Trackmaster and Dre was not really what came out right on paper and stuff like You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I felt like the album had way too many like short intros before the songs and stuff like that.
Mm.
What else? What else? Like,
Wack is saying, "What the fuck, Reg?"
I mean, shit.
He said this for months. For months, I heard this dude say. Even last year, he was saying China Doll is better than the From album. I'm like, what? We thought you was on drugs back then, Reg.
Oh man.
Never heard that. I know. Sometimes when I say some shit, people be like, "What that? What's that? What's that? What you trying to say, Try? You don't like Days of Dark Side?" But this is beyond that. This dude said China Doll, Foxy Brown's worst album ever, is better than the From album. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get on me for saying I don't like Days of Dark Side. I never said Days of Dark Side is whack. That's just not my favorite Redman album. You know what I'm saying? This dude said China Doll is better than the From album. Where's his smoke? Get from his smoke.
And I always felt like that shit.
Wow. And you still got the From album, right?
Yeah, I got Firm and China Doll.
But you play China Doll more.
I don't even know them both like that, to be keep it a
Oh.
buck.
I see. I don't have China Doll as my number one disappointing album. I don't have China Doll. I threw that away also. That's not here. That is not here. It is at the city dump. It's been there for 20 years. That's where it will stay, disintegrating. Terrible album. Like I said, the only good thing about that album was the booklet. She was half naked, posing, all that. That was good. Foxy was a little cutie back then. You know what I'm saying? That's the only good thing about the album. Like, yo, again, I died and came back to life and had to relive that nightmare every time I listened to China Doll. That's how bad it was. From the first single, Hotspot. Irv Gotti produced that shit. A lot of people don't know that. Irv Gotti was a good producer. He produced that crap. That's a beat he could have saved for Cadillac Tile, Black Child, or one of them. You know what I'm saying? None of those choices was good. The only good song was Jay-Z on Bonnie and Clyde 2, and it didn't even feel like it sounded like Jay didn't even want to do that song with her. Like you could tell like he was disinterested on that track. You know what I'm saying?
He knew what was up.
No, yeah, he still got a check for the feature, but you could tell he wasn't involved. He wasn't. There was no chemistry in that song, like how they did with, I'll be off of the Il Nana's album, or Ain't No Nigga from Reasonable Doubt. You could tell there was no chemistry in that song. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about that album was great, and she had big features on Nori's on there, Mia X, Maya, Jay-Z. Terrible. DMX is on that album. Terrible album. You know what I'm saying? I should be like a living vampire, the way I've died and come back to life with all these terrible albums I've had. For real, like I should be like a zombie right now because these albums were bad. They were disappointing and they were bad. But I'm mostly disappointed in like, Nostradamus and the B.O.B. second albums like those. But China Doll, how do you go from Il Nana to China Doll? That was a big fall as well. Like Mace wasn't the only one that fell. Foxy Brown fell along with him. He probably dragged her down too when he was falling. Like, come here, Foxy. Let me take you down with me. Come here, Puffy. Let me take you down with me. That whole bad boy affiliate, just terrible. Yes, Il Nana is classic. That's a classic album cover. And she wasn't showing a lot. She had like her boobs out, but if you look in the China Doll booklet, like she's like the only thing covering up her boobs is like some leaves. Like she was on this whole Adam and Eve type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was bad. It was a bad album. Eric said he got both albums on vinyl. Man, that's a shout out to you, man. You salute to you. That's a serious collector because I wouldn't be bumping none of those albums. They would be collecting dust. You know what I'm saying? Some of these albums, I look like Harlem World and The Gift. None of these albums are gonna be playing like these are gonna be just sitting there. I might pull it out for an anniversary and play a couple songs, but I'm not playing. It's not even no heavy rotation. Like I said, I think I'm becoming more sentimental now because if the younger me would have destroyed all of these albums, I would have broke them in half. I would have took a hammer to these shits. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like I'm letting some of them slide. I've become a collector now, so it's like, you know what I mean? They get some of them get in the past, but nah, terrible album. I don't even know if I still had that album if I would even keep it because it was just that bad. I know how some collectors like to have even the bad projects, especially like if that artist died. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they might, get well soon, Biz Markie. I hope nothing happens to him. But even with him, like the Warrior album, Weekend Warrior joint, a lot of people ain't like that album, but people will keep it because it has sentimental value. If the artist is not here no more, I get that. But at the end of the day, that's not an album you run into to play. When you think of Foxy Brown, you think of Il Nana or Broken Silence. Mace, Harlem World. I'm not thinking of Double Up the play from him or Welcome Back. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. It's a collector's thing. So that's where my mind state is at, is being not just a hip hop fan and a listener of music, but a collector. So some of these albums I have with a collection, but it's not an album I'm going to pull out to play. Biz Markie, he has diabetes. He has type 2 diabetes. He's in the hospital right now. So hopefully he make it through and all that. And I have diabetes in my family. So my grandmother had it and she passed away. My aunt had it, she passed away. So that's a serious thing. Eric said, I ain't breaking shit. I just let it collect dust particles. Yeah, Big L had a solid. Well, I mean, for the short time he was here, his discography is solid. I mean, I don't know if he would have had any bad albums if he was still alive. Christian said, I'd rather be in a casket than listen to China Doll and Double Up. Hey, I don't blame you, man. I told you, I feel like I've got to come back to life many times. I have like 9 lives now. Just listening to some of these terrible albums.
Shit. So that's all you had to say?
That's it for China Doll. That's my number one.
All right. Well, my number one is Lupe Fiasco's Lasers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Never liked this album.
That was heavy mainstream. Lupe went for the radio, just like Wale did. He went for the radio play with that album, and he had a he's another one that had a label. He had like the fans on Twitter have like a rally to get him off of Atlantic Records because they didn't want to release the original version of Lasers.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And what happened? They released it and it still turned out to be crap.
Shit is what it is and shit, man. Like that album was bad.
Yeah, he went mainstream with that. I like Lupe is a talented lyricist, but he going mainstream for some of these artists is not their lane. It's not Wale's lane. It's not Lupe's lane. Westside Gun could do that. Conway and Benny, that might be a different story for them. They might have to take a different path for their music. Everybody don't need radio to be great. Rascast, did Rascast ever chase the radio? I don't remember not one album that Rascast ever chased the radio.
I mean,
he's a legend to me. Huh?
I mean, he has some joints of Assassination with some radio airplay. I'm not gonna front.
Right. You mean like the Dre joint you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but
that was
like
that was so
blatant.
good.
I'm talking about like blatant radio play. Like he wasn't running to get no singer. He wasn't running to get Joe on a track or Case. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I,
they might have did it a different way. Like Exhibit when he came out with like Restless 2000 and Man vs Machine. He had some joints that made radio, but it wasn't deliberate. Like he's going for that radio play. Like they just like Multiply happened to be a joint that radio played because they liked it, or X. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't deliberate with it. Like yo, let me go get Ashanti on the track or Keisha Cole. You know what I'm saying?
right.
When you deliberately do that and you from the underground, you from that backpack rap, it's not gonna work for you. You're gonna alienate the friends that you got. When the last
I
time Lupe had I don't remember the last time I liked the Lupe album or I was hyped for a Lupe release. When was the last time that's happened?
shit. Don't get me lying.
You know what I'm saying? I've heard that Tetsu and Youth. That was the last album I heard from you, Lupe. I did not like that album.
I ain't like that album like that. It was
You know what I'm
okay, but it
saying?
was not heavy.
And people love that joint. I'm like, I don't see it. It's all hype. He's a dope lyricist. I don't his discography is shitty though. After Food and Liquor and the Cool, it's like that's really all he got. You know, radio play's not gonna work for everybody, man. So I just think that's what happened to some of those artists when they went chasing radio. They just fell off.
Mm.
Waka, if you like it, salute to you. You know your hip hop. It just wasn't for me. I didn't even listen to was it Drogus? That's the name. That's how you say it, Drogus, Drogus,
Drogus.
Drogus. I didn't
Yeah.
hear it. I remember seeing it online. I didn't bother to hear it or anything else. You know, Ronnie
Yeah.
asks favorite song from Biz Markie.
Hmm.
That's a good one. Nobody beats the Biz. Just a friend.
Romeo and Juliet.
He got some hits, man. Biz got some hits. I hope he does pull through. That's a legend that we can't we losing all our legends, man. We gotta save our legends.
Exactly, man.
You know. And we discussed us a couple of Biz albums on Reg's channel. So we're not gonna wait till something bad happened to do that. We already gave him his roses while he's living,
Exactly.
you know, which is what you're supposed to do. Don't wait till these dudes drop dead and be like, "Oh, always loved so and so." Highly underrated. I think he's always been an underrated artist. You know,
Yeah, when it comes to Bismarck, he's very versatile, like DJing, acting, rapping, beatboxing, and shit.
right, right.
Producing.
Yeah, man. That's Juice Crew right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was always funny. Like his videos were always funny. He didn't take himself seriously. That's what's missing in hip hop and in music. It's like you have these artists that they ice grill and everything. Everybody take themselves seriously. Biz didn't care. He didn't have no. I mean, from what I've seen, he didn't have like a big ego like that. He was always like the comedian and like on album covers wearing like wigs and stuff. Like that was him.
Right.
You know, and it would be a shame to not have him here. Like I feel like he was a good person, and you know, definitely need him to stay here. Ronnie asks favorite Luther Vandross song.
A house is not a home.
Never Too Much. Classic song. Love that. Love that beat. Racker said when Lupe sang in Latin, my mom was like, "Since when were you into that stuff?" I don't even remember that song. What album is that from?
When he sang in Latin,
Yeah.
I don't remember either. I gotta re-listen.
I don't even know. I probably didn't even hear that album. Sexual Healing. He said Luther Vandross, not Marvin Gaye. Oh, y'all talking about Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, Sexual Healing is Marvin, y'all.
They having their own conversation about Marvin.
Shit, I was just jamming to that fucking put on some music for the Midnight Love album the other day. That shit go hard.
Like, I'm trying to see if I know I missed a lot of questions before. Shout out to King. King, you still in here? I don't see him. Yeah, man. It's just that's our list. Just the disappointing list. That's how I felt about some of these albums. You know.
Yeah, I had fun doing this shit on some real shit,
Yeah.
bro.
I always try to do something different on here. I told you we got something good coming for August. Just wait. I want to see if I could get Big Guillermo and Uncle Freezy from the Front Stoop podcast on here for that one too, because that's gonna be great. That's an idea that we had for the Front Stoop, and they haven't done it unfortunately, but I want to try to do it on here. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that's gonna be dope, and we're gonna do that one on live too, so like everybody could participate in that. That's gonna be fun. And Wednesday we're gonna do Bone Thugs and Harmony, the Art of War double album review. I've never discussed Bone Thugs on any platform, and Wednesday is the album anniversary for that album, so that will be fun. I think that's a highly slept on double album. Kristen said, "Can you name your top 10 or 20 albums of '97?" We did that shit on the other podcast. Kristen, wasn't you there? I don't even remember the list that I had for '97.
Same.
I could tell you. Let me see. I could tell you a couple of them. I know. Like I'm not gonna remember every '97 album, but I could tell you like a couple of them from that year. So, all right, my favorites from '97. Wu-Tang. Oh yeah, Wu-Tang Forever. I think that was number one for me. Wu-Tang Forever. Life After Death. One Day It All Makes Sense. Common. When Disaster Strikes. Uptown Saturday Night. The War Report. No Way Out. Harlem World. O.C. Jewels. Beatnuts, Stone Crazy, Rakim, the 18th Letter, Wyclef the Carnival, Art of War. That was one of my favorites also. What else? Super Duper Fly. Yeah, pretty much those are like those. I believe some most of those joints I had on the list. You know what I mean? '97 was a good year, but I was like I want to say that was like the year when the shiny suit ever started and things changed after that.
Yeah, 97 has some dope shit.
When am I want to do a CD collection vid. I don't know, like maybe before the summer we do it, Reg. I don't know. I mean, it depends on if Reg and Ashley getting anything between now and the end of the summer.
You said a CD collection vid?
Yeah, like CD pickups.
Yeah, like once my money is good and shit like that, I'll definitely get back to getting CDs because I haven't really caught the last CDs since probably
Right.
March, April.
What's
Corona,
my
man.
favorite? What's my favorite out of the guys you just listed? What do you mean, like the bad albums you talking about, Walker? I don't understand. What's my favorite out of the ones you guys listed? I don't have. I mean, if I had to pick, it would be Nostradamus because I'm disappointed by that album, but it's not. I mean, it's not whack to me. You know what I'm saying? Like as the other ones, like you. If I had to pick between Harlem World and The Gifted and Encore, like I'm just gonna die all over again and come back because it's like a nightmare playing those albums.
Yeah, I'm using background for that.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, whenever Reg and Ashley is ready for another CD collection vid, I got something yesterday in the mail. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more fun like when we all of us do it together instead of like just me doing the CD pickups. You know what I'm saying? So I know Ashley is buying stuff and Reg is gonna buy stuff at some point. And I told you, Eric, you could come on with us, and because you're always buying shit, so you could come on with us. King could come on with us. He's always buying stuff. You know, it'd be interesting to see what everybody is picking up. Wacker, you could come on if you buying stuff. Yeah, Reg is doing Motown month in September. Like he got some stuff planned. We doing like I know you said he wanted to do Jadakiss, Kiss of Death, album review and Red Man Malpractice. We got like that stuff coming up when he comes back. Favorite Mary J song? That's hard, Ronnie. Like, we got like a lot of good songs, man. Like favorite Mary J song. I don't know. It's a lot. Reminisce, Real Love, My Life, Mary Jane, um, Your Child, 7 Days. It's a lot of I love Mary. Mary's like my favorite R&B singer. So a lot of she have a lot of great songs. You know what I mean? Yeah, All the War. We're gonna do that like 1 o'clock. We're gonna do that early because that's a double album. So I don't want to do it at like 2 o'clock. We're gonna do that like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Hopefully we'll be finished by like 3 o'clock or something. So we're gonna do that one. That's a classic double album to me. I hear nobody talk about that double album, and I've never talked about Bone Thugs on here, so I want to talk about Bone Thugs. And why not start with that album release? Um, yeah, OC Jewels. That album is great. Like his first two, Word Life was great. The second one with Primo did a lot of stuff on there, and Lord Finesse and Aggie. Showbiz, like that was a great album. Big L is on there on Dangerous. That's a classic collab. Got Far From Yours. That was like a hit single. We got
Yeah.
War Games with Organized Confusion. Great album. That's a 5 mic classic in my opinion. That's an album that we might discuss that because I've never discussed any OC albums either. So I think he slept on as a lyricist. You know,
Who is?
OC
Oh, I definitely agree.
talking about the Eric said he never heard the Jewels album.
What?
He said he never heard it.
Nice. Oh wow.
Yeah. That's a you would like that, I think. I mean, you like that boom bap, Eric. You would definitely like that album. Favorite Mary J song. Ronnie asked.
Love No Limit.
Okay. I got the Mad Villainy album. Doom and Madlib. That's what came in the mail yesterday. Thanks to Reg for that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, I never had Mad Villainy, so I had to get that. Bonnie said y'all should do a top R&B disappointing album. I don't know. Right? We're supposed to be planning a top 100 R&B albums of all time. That's gonna be an epic episode, just like the sitcoms one you did last week.
Yeah, that won't be epic as fuck.
Yeah, 100. We're not gonna do 100 in one day. That might be like a 3-parter.
I was just thinking
You know
about
what I'm
just
saying?
doing that in five parts and shit. Just do 20
Oh,
a day.
a 5-parter, epic, a 5-parter epic miniseries of albums. And I didn't even start my list yet. I know a couple that's going on there, but I did not start my list yet. So
Yeah, me
100.
neither.
And it's for any era. It could be 60s, 70s, 80s, all that.
Yeah.
Of any era, all R&B. So that's gonna be big. That's gonna be major.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
Um,
hard list to come up with.
do you have that Cool G rap? Nah, I don't got no Cool G albums, yo. I don't got no Eric B, no Cool G rap and DJ Polo, no Cool G rap solo stuff. A lot of his stuff is out of print.
I know I got everything up into Roots of Evil. I got.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
I don't got no Cool G rap stuff, man. You know what I mean? Kristen said I saw the OG European pressing electronic version of. Oh yeah. I have that actually on bootleg, but I don't have the actual retail one for the electronic version. Yeah, I prefer the electronic version than the rock version because there's some songs where in the rock version they don't sound as good compared to the R&B electronic version. So
But
the only rock genre, huh?
what y'all talking about?
The Nerd album, the first one, In Search of.
Oh,
That one, I prefer the electronic version more. They have a yeah, that one I don't have that one. I got Fly or Die, and I got the Nothing album. I don't got In Search of, and I don't got Seeing Sound. Ronnie said they need to do a biopic of Rick James. I thought they had one coming.
I don't know if I want to see that.
No? Rick
I mean,
James
I love,
biopic.
but I
Who
don't
you
know if I
picking to play Rick James if they do a biopic? Who's gonna be Rick James?
That's the thing, man. I don't know anybody can happen to be Rick James.
Who you picking to be Rick James?
He's one of a kind. Like you can't just duplicate Rick.
You picking Jamie Foxx to be Rick James? Who you picking?
Hell no. Hell no, not no Jamie Foxx. Hell no. And I like Jamie Foxx though, but he's gonna play Mike Tyson.
I don't know. He could pull off the voice. I don't know about the actual build of Tyson. How he gonna look? Ronnie said I picked Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard to be Rick James?
Hell,
a light skin Rick James. What?
Terrence Howard?
Hell no.
Did y'all see that Empire episode? He had them damn dread and shit. Oh fuck.
A light skinned Rick James? That ain't happening. Shit. Oh man.
Ooh.
Wow.
Terrence Howard.
You picked Terrence Howard to be Johnny Kemp? If they did a Johnny Kemp biopic.
Johnny.
You know what I'm saying? He could pull off
Johnny
Kemp. Rick James?
Oh, maybe if he was in the movie, he could have played like Smokey or somebody and shit. Maybe. But no damn Rick James.
Wow. Yeah, I know they got on 456 they got for cheap. But other than that, like the old G-Rap and Polo, I don't got none of those joints, man.
Cool G-Rap, man.
And I never see no sellers selling them all. I never see no sellers on Instagram selling them. It's like it's hard to find. Yeah, I could see Terrence Howard as Johnny Kemp. They got like this, like some like similar complexion, but Nah, not Rick James. Man.
Friday night.
Purple Rain versus 1999. Who you got? I got Purple Rain because I came in that era for Prince. That was my introduction to Prince, and then I have to go back and listen to the older stuff.
I got Purple Rain too.
Yes, Purple Rain for me. That was my introduction, and then for Michael it was Thriller. You know what I'm saying? They have to go back and listen to all the Jackson 5 stuff and Off the Wall and all that. But 1999 is a great album, though. That's a great album.
Yeah, that's like one of his most funkiest albums.
I want to cover some Prince stuff too. It's just that there's so much like folklore and groomers and shit. I don't want to cover that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to keep it to the album, but it's like when you talk about Prince, it's like you gotta mention all that stuff, what was going on, and I don't care to discuss all that. So I think Reg will be better at doing that.
True.
Because Reg know all the behind the scenes tidbits and stuff about what was going on of that era for Prince. I'm not big on that stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I would like to discuss Prince at some point, like something from. I need to get more Prince albums too.
Yeah, I was watching Purple Rain this morning.
Yes, tomorrow is the anniversary of Purple Rain. Actually.
Oh wow.
Yep. That's when it came out in theaters.
Why don't you stay a while, see how it's done?
For those who don't know, 1999 was released 1 month apart from Thriller. I didn't know that.
I didn't even know that myself.
I didn't know that, Ronnie. Thanks for that. See, Ronnie knows the tidbits, and I would have known that stuff. You know, there's people I've seen. What's his name? Prince's friend. He's a good YouTube channel to follow.
Yeah,
you know all about Prince shit. Like he tell you all that shit about Prince. I don't know none of that stuff, man.
Yeah, you know? Some of the shit like I don't even know myself and stuff. So
yeah, and he's been to like the Prince conventions and he's been out there and all. He's been to Minnesota and all. I think he's from it. I don't know. I think he's from Minnesota, but he knows all that Prince. Anything you want to know about Prince, follow Prince's friend. He that's a great Prince channel. He knows all that shit, but I wouldn't know none of that stuff. I'm just focused on the actual music at the end of the day. Like if I talk about Chaos and Disorder, I don't know nothing about what was going on in Prince's love life when he made Chaos and Disorder. Like, who was he fucking? I don't know. Get him to fucking himself. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you. You know, people know all the stuff. Like, oh, Prince was with Kim Basinger when he did Batman, and I heard a crazy story about Batman, the Batman soundtrack when he was with Kim Basinger. Like he was fucking in the studio and they were using honey on each other and shit.
Yep.
And they had like a promo, like overseas. They had like a promo, like jar of honey. That came out with what was it Bat Dance or Scandalous, one of the singles.
Scandalous.
I didn't even know that shit, yo. Like I wouldn't know that stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's just about the music. I wouldn't know about him and Kim Basinger and all that. So, you know, I like to hear the stories though. I like to hear the little tidbits and all that, but I wouldn't know that stuff. It's Purple Rain on Netflix. I think it was last month or something. They might have taken it off. I don't know, because Netflix is funny when it comes to like keeping movies on, like certain movies they'll have on there from like 4 or 5 years ago, and then like movies that just came on, they'll take it off like next month. So I don't know if you'll have to check.
Fuck that.
Yeah, like real crazy shit. Like he was like doing all kind of crazy shit with Kim in the studio, yo. And the engineer or the sound guy came the next day and found like honey all over the mixing board.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I would never know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like back when Bat Dance came out, I was just into the soundtrack and the movie. I would never never knew about like what was Prince doing with Kim Basinger at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the stories I hear about Prince, I'm like, damn, like it was crazy, bro. He need like 3 biopics,
Shit.
you know? Crazy shit. Lady T all the way. Oh, Tina Marie, yeah. We did a couple of Tina Marie reviews on Reddit's channel. Those are good. Django Unchained. Oh, favorite Jimmy Fox movie? Um,
Right.
I like Ray. Yeah, Ray was good. I was thinking about the other one where he played the homeless guy.
I forgot the name of that movie.
Yeah, I forgot the name of that, but actually that was a good movie. He played like the homeless guy that was like living underneath the highway or whatever. That was a good one. He's a good actor when he like. I think he picks the wrong movies, but he's a good actor. Like Collateral was good. I liked him in Tom Cruise. That was a good movie. Um, Booty Call I didn't care for. Booty Call was alright, but it's not like one of my favorites. You know,
Booty Call, man. That's
somebody asked. Yo, Ashley was in here earlier, and somebody asked Ashley about the Entanglement song. What did she think? I didn't even see her respond to them. What did you think about the Entanglement song?
trash.
And Rick Ross is on that, and it still doesn't sound good.
That shit, man. It's like just let it go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do more movie stuff. Like what I was planning on doing was like just doing stuff horror related, like every Halloween or close to Halloween. I do have like some new horror Blu-rays and stuff, but at some point I'm gonna do like more movie stuff because I want to discuss other things like besides music on here because like that's not my only interest. Like I love music, I love movies. I've been going to movies since like 4 or 5 years old. I love sports, you know. But like there's like other podcasts that I like join that they discuss the sports stuff. So I don't really feel like I need to do it on here like that. Maybe once in the blue. I love fashion. I love comics. You know what I mean? I just want to make it more variety than just music all the time. I think people just know me for a music head and that's it. But I love other things than just music. So yeah, I want to do more movie stuff on here.
Yeah,
Favorite
man.
song from Boyz II Men. Of course, Ronnie would ask us that. Favorite song from Boyz II Men. What's your favorite? I don't have one favorite song from Boyz II Men. I got like more than one.
I'm gonna have to go with I'll make love. I'll make love to you.
I got so many. Motown Philly. It's Hard to Say Goodbye. Bended Knee. Doing Just Fine. It's a lot. Thank You. Vibing. The remix with Tretch and Busta, Method Man, Greg Mack. A lot.
And I can be the reason down on
It's my
bandit.
audio video class. Why do you need a class for that? It's very easy to just, get on StreamYard and do a live stream. I didn't
Well,
have
yeah.
I never took any classes in high school with computers. Like I know how to use computers naturally. Like I don't know what you would call that. But I never went to computer class to to work a computer. It's just something that came to me naturally. So favorite Shaka Khan and Rufus albums, Eric got.
Master Jam.
I'm very behind on Shaka Khan music. I know her big hits, like her greatest hits. I know those. But like actual albums, I don't know those at all. You know?
Yeah, but
Oh,
this is
he got a high school class with directing. Oh, you want to be a director? That's dope. Yeah, you definitely should. I mean, if that's your passion, you definitely should follow it. You know what I'm saying? Like becoming a director. You might be the next Quentin Tarantino. You know what I'm saying? Or the next Joel Schumacher or Martin Scorsese. So that definitely, if that's your passion, then follow it. You know what I'm saying? I love movies, so I love talking about movies. We on the same movie podcast together. I love talking about movies as well. So it's just something that I haven't done a lot on here. But at some point, I want to like discuss like more movie stuff too. So I mean, you could come on with me if you want to discuss movies. We could discuss movies too. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm a big comic book head. I'm a big fan of like DC and Marvel, what they doing, and you know, I'm a big fan of like Martin Scorsese films and Al Pacino and all that. So favorite Patti LaBelle song, Ronnie F.
Mm,
I like On My Own with Michael McDonald.
I love that track.
That's a great song.
On my own.
Yes,
Michael McDonald does not get the press he deserves at times
that
too.
definitely doesn't. He's a great artist too. I saw he did a Tiny Desk concert a couple weeks ago from his house because like since the quarantine happened, like he did one
Yeah.
from his house. He killed it, and he was like in a small room with like a whole bunch of keyboards and instruments, and he was killing it. He still sounds great to this day.
Exactly, man. Like that unique style of singing that he has and shit. It's just crazy.
Right. Yeah, I'll down Walker. Like I didn't even know you had your podcast. Like yeah, like let me know when. I did see you post something on Instagram about your podcast. Yeah, I did see that. So yeah, I'm down to be on there anytime, man. Just let me know. Kristen said, did you see the Netflix documentary called The Remix Hip Hop and Fashion? I didn't see that. Is that on Netflix now? I didn't see
I
that.
think I heard about it. I just never seen it
I
myself.
gotta check that out. I'm gonna check that out. Underrated hip hop soundtracks. Eric asks. Underrated hip hop soundtracks.
New Jersey Drive.
That was diet. That was a good one. I think Men in Black is underrated. The first Men in Black soundtrack. Then that's underrated soundtrack. That had Alicia Keys and The Roots, Nas, Tribe, De La, Destiny's Child, like Young Destiny's Child. I think that's an underrated soundtrack. There's so many, man. The Rhyme and Reason, that's an underrated one. The Black Panther soundtrack, I actually like that one.
Yeah,
You know,
that one was dope too.
yeah, with Kendrick and who else was on? The Weeknd was on there. Absol, Schoolboy Q. That was a dope soundtrack. Jodie Watley, self-titled, or Sheila E. The Glamorous Life. That's a good one. I gotta go with Jodie Watley because I was a big Jodie Watley fan growing up after she left Shalimar. But Glamorous Life to me is Sheila E.'s best album because we did an album review on the second album, The Romance 1600. That to me was terrible. And I know Reg liked that album, but that album to me was terrible. And I got that on vinyl. I didn't like it at all. But I love Jodie Watley's first album. I had Jodie Watley's first album on cassette, but never got it on CD yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you were saying?
I was just saying, yeah, that I'll have to go with Glamorous Life myself.
Yeah. That's her best album to me. I think we did a review for that, right? On your channel?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's a great album. Ronnie X, y'all heard the BT man? Yeah, I saw the commercial for that, the No Limit Records documentary.
Oh yeah, that's this week and shit.
That's this week? Is it with Thursday?
I believe Wednesday or Thursday.
True. Like I said, we doing the 50 Cent. Okay, I'm gonna definitely be like let me know, like give me the link or whatever. If it's on Instagram, then I'll be up in there. Or if you have it on YouTube, just send me the link so I could be a part of that. But to me, I said T.I. has a better discography, so it's not a regional thing. I'm not picking New York just because I live here. Like to me, T.I. have a better discography than 50.
I see what you're saying. Hey yo,
That's
try.
self-titled.
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, but Eric said her self-titled one is from '87 is good.
Oh yeah, I love this stuff. That's like my favorite Sheila E. album.
I'm gonna stay on for like 5 more minutes, so y'all can ask me whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be out. Reggie's leaving now, so
I'll stay till 5 minutes then.
I'll just stay. We stay on 5 more minutes. Favorite Martin Lawrence movie. Favorite Martin Lawrence movie. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one too.
That was good. That soundtrack was underrated too. Speaking about underrated soundtracks, that was a good soundtrack. Bad Boys, I liked him in Bad Boys as well, but Thin Line Between Love and Hate was a good one.
Also
Yeah,
like,
T.I.
I also like the You're So Crazy stand-up film and shit like that.
Oh yeah, that was good too. You so crazy, joint. T.I. is good, man. Like I said, like T.I. had a 6 album run. You know what I'm saying? And for T.I. to sit there and be like, "Well, New York don't love him," that's not true because we supported him. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm a big T.I. fan. I was there from Dead Serious all the way to now. I've been supporting T.I. for years. Saw him in concert and all that. He's a great artist. And to me, I felt like he had that run where you could say he was, king of the South for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. I know people would say Jeezy or Luda or Ross or whatever. Ross to me took over after T.I. where T.I. left off. You know what I'm saying? I think Ross is still dropping solid projects now. Like T.I. not doing that no more. So I think Ross picked up where T.I. left off. But T.I., I'm like some of his best albums, Urban Legend, Trap Music, King is one of his best albums. Paper Trail, like those were great.
Yeah, Paper Trail and T.I. versus T.I.P. man.
Yeah, that one. I forgot that one too. Yep. He has classic albums, man. Mine's is Thin Love Between Love and Hate. Yeah, Roscoe Jenkins was funny too. I forgot about that one. That one has I think Monique is in that one.
Yep.
That was a funny one. Speaking of T.I., who has a better? Yeah, T.I. has the better discography to me. Like 50, his first two are classic. Curtis was good, but it's not a classic to me. But to me, I think he fell off after Curtis. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the mixtapes, he was still putting out mixtapes in the 2010s, but it wasn't great like the G Unit mixtapes. You know?
Right.
Yeah, Scarface is a legend. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up on Scarface like that, unfortunately, because like I came in on his stuff late. Like by the time I came on Scarface, it was on like when I seen a man die. When I seen a man cry, that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like I never listened to the Ghetto Boy stuff like that. So when I came in on Scarface, it was like he was already in his solo bag. But he's a legend. He's been putting out fire. The Fix is one of his best albums in my opinion. I love that album. The Diary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people will say like, yeah, Scarface is the king of the South, but I feel like there's some people that could compete for that. Weezy had a run, with the Carter series and his mixtapes all through the 2000s and now. Like I think he is a contender for king of the South as well as Ross and T.I. had his run.
Right.
That would be a good battle. Like I heard somebody say today, like they want to see Scarface against Cube.
Ooh, that would be a good battle.
You know what I mean? Let's get more Southern artists in it as well, not just the East and I know Swizz wanted to get more West Coast artists. Get the South involved as well. We still waiting for the 3-6 Mafia and Bone Thugs battle. It hasn't happened yet.
I thought that was going to happen on Versus.
The day that it was supposed to happen, I was on DJ Paul's live, and he rescheduled it because he said Versus wants to sponsor it. We still waiting for that battle.
Oh, wow.
That was 2 months ago. The UGK and 8Ball and MJG. We're still waiting for that one. That hasn't happened yet. They want to give us Keisha Cole and Ashanti. I'm not watching it. I don't even like Ashanti like that. Like she's nice, she's pretty, but I wasn't no fan of her. I'm not fan of her stuff. Keisha Cole got some songs, but she got 20 hits? I don't think she do.
Yeah, I don't think he has 20 hits either.
I don't think she got 20 hits. I mean, Ashanti got a lot of features with Ja Rule, but I don't even know if she got 20 hits. You know, I'm not hyped for that battle. Like, I want to see like some real battles. It might be a tough question, but who has a better Mary J? Mary J has the better discography to me. Mariah, I haven't liked a Mariah album since Emancipation of Me, and that was what 2005.
Yeah.
That's the last album I actually enjoyed from Mariah. After that, she came out with a lot of garbage. Mary got some trash too now, but I want to say like what was like the last good Mary album? The last good Mary album I liked was the Breakout. The
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. That was a solid album. She had she got some misses after that though. You know what I'm saying? Like Stronger with Every Tear, it was okay, it wasn't great. Growing Pains, same with that. Mary hasn't had a classic in years. I mean, but they both got over 20 hits. That would be a good battle too, Mary and Mariah. Let's make that happen.
That would be dope.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? And like the battle of the remixes. Who got the hotter remixes in the 90s? Was it Mariah? Was it Mary? You know? And features. They did tons of features on people's albums. I mean, Mariah did shit on Jay-Z's albums, Freeway first album, Cameron. You know? Jadakiss, she did features now. I don't know. That'll be tough. Like remixes. See, I was heavy into Mary, but Mariah to me, like her, like a lot of her hits are from remixes though. Fantasy remix, Honey remix, Always Be My Baby remix, Heartbreaker remix. Like she got some remix. She got remixes, man. She got some good ones and she got some bad ones though.
Exactly.
But if they did like a whole round where they could play like just remixes from Mary and Mariah, who's winning that round?
I'll put my pick on like Mary.
If Mariah throw on Fantasy remix with ODB and Mary put on Real Love remix with Biggie, who's winning that round?
What was the last one you said? Real Love remix?
Yeah, with Biggie.
Fantasy remix.
I could win. But if she throw on that Roof remix with Mobb Deep, and Mary throw on the I'm Going Down remix with who's on that joint? Was Method Man on that joint? Somebody was on that I'm Going Down remix, right?
Method Man.
Yeah. If she throw that on, who's winning that? Like that remix round will be crazy. Like if they throw in like they best top 3, top 5 remixes in their catalog, that'd be crazy.
Yo, man, that I'm Going Down remix goes hard and shit. That beat.
Yes. They sampled the What beat from Biggie.
Right.
Fire. Not even the features. They got countless features. Mary alone got tons of features. Probably more than Mariah. Yeah, she's been on everybody's album. So I would like to see that battle. The question is, are they gonna do it?
Mary maybe. I don't know about Mariah.
Yeah, I think Mary definitely would be down to do that. Ronnie's asked better discography. Eddie Murphy or Martin Lawrence? Better discography? What you mean?
Filmography?
Better discography? No, he said discography. He didn't say filmography.
Oh, because they both dropped albums.
Well, Eddie got comedy albums too?
Yeah, he got The Comedian and Delirious.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I've always seen Delirious like on TV. I didn't know it was like a comedy album.
Mm-hmm. And Martin,
You know
he got Martin got 2 comedy albums and shit.
Yeah, I remember talking shit. Cause that used to be. I used to see the ads in the source for that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That's a classic.
Right. Oh, Mr. Cheeks was on the Going Down remix. Okay, I thought it was Method Man.
Oh,
I
fast.
think
Oh,
they sampled the Method Man from the what joint. He sampled his voice or something.
fast. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, that would be crazy. That would be a crazy battle. I don't know. Better discography. I ain't listening to none of those comedy albums. Yo.
I would say Eddie.
Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got talking shit though, right? You got that drink.
No, I don't have talking shit yet.
Oh, I thought you had one of those Martin Lawrence comedy albums.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I know they out of print, right?
Yep. But yo, listen, I'm about to charge my webcam and shit.
All right, man. We gonna end this live stream. It's like already 3 hours and shit. Definitely, we'll be back on Wednesday with Art of War double album review. August, we got that big thing coming up. Definitely want to stay tuned for that. I might be back, maybe before Wednesday. I might get Guillermo and Uncle Freezy on here before then, but definitely stay tuned. Keep your notifications on, and thanks for supporting the channel. So we'll see you all on Wednesday, man.
All right, bro. Y'all take care of yourself.
All right.
Stay safe out here.
Peace.
Peace.